Bienvenidos a la Junta de Supervisores. Welcome to the Board of Supervisors en español. We want our Spanish-speaking residents to have more access to county government in their own language, and Spanish live translation can make that possible in person and remotely. Un grupo de intérpretes están en vivo en la reunión de la Junta de Supervisores traduciendo simultáneamente. Usted puede ver, escuchar y participar en persona o por internet de esta reunión los martes. For those who come in person and want to listen in, headsets are available at the Clerk of the Board reception. Aquellos que vienen y desean escuchar la reunión, tenemos disponibles audífonos en el vestíbulo de la oficina del secretario de la Junta. And for those who want to tune in, a Spanish live stream is available on RivCo.org. Aquellos que desean sintonizarnos pueden hacerlo a través del portal RivCo.org. Los intérpretes también están listos para traducir cualquier comentario del público en el podio o por teléfono. Interpreters are available and ready to translate any comments from the public at the podium or via phone. Board meeting agendas and minutes are published in Spanish on RivCo.org. Las agendas y minutos de la reunión de la Junta de Supervisores son publicadas en español en RivCo.org. Queremos saber de usted y que se entere de todo lo que pasa en el gobierno del condado de Riverside en su propio idioma. We want your participation in Riverside County Government.
Okay. All right. IT, are we ready? Yes? Okay. All right. So we'll go ahead and get started this morning. Good morning, everyone. We'll go ahead and call this meeting to order at 9:31 a.m. Madam Clerk, actually roll call. We'll do roll call. I believe we have to do verbal roll call because we have Supervisor Spiegel on Zoom as well.
Yes.
So, Madam Clerk.
Supervisor Medina.
Here.
Supervisor Spiegel.
Present.
Supervisor Washington.
Here.
Supervisor Gutierrez.
Present as well.
Supervisor Perez
He's on his way.
is on his way. Thank you.
All right.
Let the record reflect we've achieved a quorum.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Madam Clerk. We'll go ahead and have the invocation. If we could have the invocation led by Brent Sherrick, volunteer chaplain, and then followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. I'll go ahead and lead the Pledge of Allegiance with that. Okay, thank you, sir. Please stand.
Would you please bow your heads with me? Father, we just come before thee right now, and we just want to first and foremost thank you for this day, the day you've given to us. And Lord, I'd ask that as proceedings go on here today, as things are brought up, things are brought forth, that we brought up with respect for those bringing them and for those that are going to receive them, Lord, and maybe make a decision on them. And Lord, I'd ask that you would give this board wisdom and discernment in all the things that are going to be bringing forth to them to make decisions on. And Lord, I'd ask that those who bring them would bring them with a passion, articulation, and also with respect. So Lord, we thank you for that, and we thank you for this day. And Lord, I ask that you be with those that are here, both in their personal and business lives, Lord, and guide and direct them through this day. And we ask this in your Son's name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance by putting your right hand over your heart and begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. We will now have a presentation from our animal services. We do this each meeting where we bring a dog. Usually it's a dog. Where Animal Services talks about that person or the dog to see if they can get adopted. So, believe we'll go ahead and turn it over to Animal Services. Go ahead.
Hi, good morning. My name is Chelsea Godfrey. I'm a public information specialist with the Department of Animal Services. This is Ishmael. He is one of our senior animal services counselors. And he's helping me out today because I was told I was going to bring a puppy, and puppies in this age range can be a little bit chaotic, but he just so happens to be the calmest, most relaxed, best behaved boy ever. So this here is Wheeler. He is about 7 months old. He's been in our shelter since he was just 3 or 4 months old, and he is looking for somebody to bring him into their family. He is very curious, very sweet, very playful, and honestly, very well behaved for being as young as he is. We are right now participating in our Clear the Shelters event now through the end of the month. So all of our adoption fees are waived. They include spay or neuter, vaccines, microchip, and every pet goes home with an engraved name tag. So if you're looking to adopt a pet, now is the time. It's completely waived. And on Saturday, we're having a Go Big, Go Home event. If you do adopt a big dog, 40 pounds or larger, you'll go home with a large dog supply kit. So things like a crate and a leash and collar and toys. So definitely, if you were looking for a sign, I am your sign, okay? So yes, we will be taking Wheeler back to our Riverside shelter. So if you're interested, pop on over there. It's only about 10 minutes away, and we'd be happy to get you guys in a play yard and introduce you a little bit closer. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, Animal Services. You know, every time that we do this, we always have the dog that gets adopted. So really appreciate your guys' support. Okay, that leads us now to Clerk of the Board update. Madam Clerk.
Chair, we do have one presentation.
Oh, sorry. Yep,
Supervisor
I skipped over it.
Medina.
Yes, sorry. Okay, presentations. We do have a presentation, and this is a board member sponsored presentation, and we will have it from Supervisor Medina, National Council of Weights and Measurement, the Inspector of the Year recognition. Supervisor Medina.
If I could ask my colleagues to join me, please. And I would like to call up Marco Rivera and Misael Martinez, if they would also join me up here on the dais. So today we are very proud to recognize Marco Rivera, who has been named the 2026 Inspector of the Year by the National Council of Weights and Measures. This national honor recognizes Marco's expertise, professionalism, leadership, and commitment to public service. His work helps protect consumers by ensuring that prices, quantities, and measurements are accurate and that businesses play fair. Being selected from among inspectors across the country is an incredible achievement and a real point of pride for Riverside County. Marco, congratulations on this very well-deserved honor, and I now will see if any of my colleagues want to add. Okay. Great job. Misia?
Sure. I would like to thank the board this morning for recognizing Marco's achievement in getting the Inspector of the Year at the National Council of Weights and Measures annual conference this year in Philadelphia. Thank you. I want to congratulate Marco again for this achievement and for all the work he's done over the past year and his dedication, professionalism, and commitment that he's shown to strengthening outreach to businesses within the county. And it goes towards our efforts in our mission to ensure consumer protection and equity in the marketplace. So thank you again, Marco, and for everyone on our team that ensures that this mission is really executed in our county by our department. Thank you.
Thank you. And again, congratulations. And with that, I will present Marco with a proclamation.
All right, everyone, and again, congratulations on that big achievement at the National Council, so appreciate that. I just want to let the record reflect that we have Supervisor Perez that has joined us, and now we'll go to the Clerk of the Board update. Madam Clerk?
Under additions, none. Deletions, none. Under corrections, item 3.81 is in District 2. Under notations, continue item 3.62 to September 1, 2026. Continue item 22.1 off calendar. We have speakers signed up for public comment, and items 2.7, 3.40, 3.72, 3.74, 3.75, and 3.93.
Okay, 1 second. For public comments, on the consent calendars, 2.7, 3.40, 3.72, 3.74, 3.75, and 3.93. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll pull those for a separate vote. Because we have Supervisor Spiegel on Zoom, I believe we'll do a voice vote on all these, right? So if we could just take a motion to approve the entire, everything except these. Anyone want to make a motion?
So moved.
Okay, motion made by Supervisor Washington and a second by Supervisor Perez. Please call the vote, Madam Clerk.
Supervisor Medina?
Yes.
Supervisor Spiegel?
Yes.
Supervisor Washington?
Yes.
Supervisor Perez? Yes. And Supervisor Gutierrez?
Yes. All right, so that passes our consent calendar and policy calendar, except those items that were pulled. So now we will go to our first item that was pulled, right? Which would be 2.7.
Yes, we have one public speaker, Errol Koshowitz.
And can you call the next two, just of who else is?
We only have one
Just
signed up
one.
for this
Okay,
item.
got it. Okay. Hello, sir.
Hi guys, I haven't seen you in a while. I wanted to talk about your auditing skills since this is 2.7. Now I'm requesting the Board of Supervisors to provide on their website every vendor, every LLC, every nonprofit, every purchase card member, every union member that you've provided funds to. I want you to put this on your website so we can see who you're hiring. And that is including an audit. I actually want to see everybody that you've hired to provide services, guys. You are required by the state of California to provide information to the public. I've asked this for 2 or 3 years now. And you have refused to provide information to the public. I have it, but I want you to put it towards everybody. Everybody needs to know who you're hiring and how much money you're providing the person money-wise. We have a lot of problems, and the city and the county of Riverside have to be audited. And I'm asking right now, face to face, that you put everything on your website so the citizens, the county taxpayers, the American taxpayers can see how much money you're money laundering and committing fraud to everybody. Committing fraud. Audit is the best thing in the world, and we don't do it. You're not allowing the private sector to see what you guys are doing. That's what I'm asking for today with the 5 amigos. Thank you very much, you guys. You have a blessed day.
All right, thank you, Errol. Okay, Madam Clerk, any public, there's no more, so I'll go ahead and call for the vote.
Yes, please. Do we have a motion and a second to approve the item?
Yeah, I'll move staff's recommendation on 2.7.
Okay, motion made by Supervisor Washington, second by Supervisor Medina. Please call for the vote.
Supervisor Medina?
Yes.
Supervisor Spiegel?
Yes.
Supervisor Washington?
Yes.
Supervisor Perez?
Yes.
And Supervisor Gutierrez?
Yes.
Let the record reflect the item passing as unanimous.
Okay, and we have a comment from Supervisor Perez. Oh, no? Okay. It popped up. Okay, no worries. All right, that moves on to item 3.40, which I believe is about HWS. How many speakers on this one?
We have one speaker,
Okay.
Crystal Altworth.
All right. We'll do 3 minutes. Hi there, Crystal.
Hello.
Hi.
Good morning, Supervisors. My name is Crystal Otworth. I work with Leadership Council for Justice and Accountability. And I'm here today in support of the county's TCC program implementation grant application. For the past 2 years, community members, project leads, and county staff have consistently shown up for monthly meetings to design projects that are truly for the community and by the community. From solar readiness upgrades to transportation improvements and a community resilience center, Eastern Coachella Valley residents have helped shape projects that can improve quality of life, strengthen climate resiliency, and bring long-awaited improvements to the unincorporated communities of Mecca and North Shore. We're excited about what has already been accomplished, and even more excited about what is possible when residents, community partners, and the county continue to work together. The TCC grant is an important opportunity to help move these projects forward, and we hope the county will continue to support this work and look for additional opportunities to bring these projects to life. So thank you.
Great. Thank you, Crystal. And we have a comment from, thank you. We have a comment from Supervisor Washington.
Only if that was the last speaker.
That was the last speaker.
Okay. Staff is recommending our approval of an application for state funds in the amount of $27.5 million. And I think there would be great benefit to the community, as the speaker just alluded to. So I'd like to move staff's recommendation.
Okay. And then before the motion, we do have a comment from Supervisor Perez.
I'd also like to second that motion, but I also need to repeat the fact that, the Eastern Coachella does not only consist of Mecca and North Shore. And I know that Leadership Council really just concentrates on those two communities. We need to concentrate on many more than that. You got to think about also Thermal. You got to think about also Coachella. You got to think about also areas that unfortunately, 1,000 Palms, for example, Indio Hills, that don't have these resources, that don't have these community centers, just like you're seeking to have in North Shore or even the South Sea area. So as long as we continue to work together, which is what I appreciate you said, I look forward to that, as opposed to, being at odds and being able to sit at the table to really figure things out, we can get somewhere. And I look forward to that too. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, with Supervisor Perez's
Second.
Permission, I would like to swap the motion and second so that he has the privilege of making the motion, and I'll second his motion, if he's okay with that.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. And then seeing there's no further comments in the queue, and then Supervisor Spiegel, if you want to just speak, and then feel free, since you're on there. So we'll go ahead and call for the vote, Madam Clerk, and that was Supervisor Perez with the motion and Supervisor Washington with the second.
Supervisor Medina?
Yes.
Supervisor Spiegel?
Yes.
Supervisor Washington?
Yes.
Supervisor Perez?
Yes.
And Supervisor Gutierrez?
Yes.
Let the record reflect the item passing as unanimous.
Great, thank you so much. And that brings us over to item 3.72, which is the City of Moreno Valley contract, an increase of enforcement services, law enforcement services. So how many public comments on this one?
We have one public speaker who is
Okay.
online,
Perfect. Call.
Roy Bleckert.
Oh, he's online. Okay. Maybe he's up north.
Yes, on 3.72, the exploding costs from the Sheriff's Department has affected not only Riverside County in the budgets, but it affects the contract city. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because many times in this whole rendition, you and other government agencies or voting bodies say, well, what we do here doesn't affect anything or we can't vote on that. But your budget votes, you're stamping these costs that are passed on affect the cities. That's why some of us come up there and push really hard when these budgets are coming up. And especially in the public safety, which you know, because I've reminded you a gazillion times, your number one priority, as you swore, and it's in the Constitution, is public safety. Yet we're running a public safety crisis where we're under threats of officers, deputies being laid off, and a lot of it starts at the action there at the County Board of Supervisors, because you set the budget and you set these costs and you approve them. So my goal in this is to get honest numbers up on the table, for one, so we can do this. To prevent the 7 years of that Indio jail not being open, and as Chuck Washington and Sheriff Chad had the discussion when we were going on at the budget hearings back in June, now we know the reason why it isn't open. At least that's what it was brought out. The travesty that's been going on it is absolutely outrageous in mine and many others. I bet a majority of the people here. So we need to get to honest numbers. We need to put numbers out there that reflect that people can understand and we can cross-compare with. When we get to that point, maybe, possibly, we will turn the corner on not having the situations and the gun that we're staring down and looking at public safety being cut in Riverside County and many of its major cities.
Okay, thank you. And if there's no other comments, I'd like to make, well, which there is, but I will make a motion on this one since it's in my district to approve. But we do have comments from Supervisor Perez. Did you still have? No? Okay, I'm going to remove you there. And then Supervisor Washington.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My comments are not, they're somewhat related to this item. This item is about approving a law enforcement agreement for services to the city of Moreno Valley. But lately, it seems that the board is being criticized for having done something that we felt was necessary and right 3 years ago, when we were struggling to retain deputies at the county because our pay was not competitive, pay and benefits. And everyone was saying we have to raise the pay in order to keep good people, in order to attract good people. That is what we've done. And that costs money. No one is scheduled to be laid off, as the speaker, I think, alluded to, but we're in a tight budget situation right now. And the board has adopted the recommendation from our CEO that we stay flat. That's not decline, that's not increase, but I just want that thought to be noted as we approve, I think we will approve this item for the city of Moreno Valley, but it does call out salaries, benefits for a certain level of rank of our deputies, and that cost is passed on to our contract cities who have decided that they want to contract with the Sheriff's Department. So, you know, I know this discussion is going to continue on about the cost, and we're holding it together right now. So I will be supporting this item.
Okay.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, thank you. And we do have our hand raised, or the hand raised from Supervisor Spiegel.
Yes, I do also want to comment like Supervisor Washington and to support what he had said. But in addition, when you look at the bigger picture, I think there's a lot of misinformation that has been circulating to where when Mr. Bleckert talked about letting the constituents know where the money's going and how it's distributed, I understand that, but we get up against the misinformation, and I guess that is what the challenge is. And Mr. Van Wagner, can you explain a little bit? You and I had a discussion about this, and how the reality is that, as it was mentioned by Supervisor Washington, the budget really wasn't cut; it was remained the same. Actually, there was a little bit added to it, and future discussion about as money is available, we would continue. Can you explain how that works?
Yes, Supervisor. Supervisor Gutierrez, members of the board, good morning. The question, as I hear it, is to describe briefly about, certainly as it relates to this item, but even more broadly about comments about budget cuts to the Sheriff's Department. In the most straightforward way, the Sheriff's Department budget was not cut. When we talk about a budget cut, we mean specifically that we're dollars revenue that was taken away from the sheriff, that they were forced to absorb less money or take less money, receive less money from the Board of Supervisors in a budget. That did not happen during our budget hearings, as those who attended know that the sheriff did present a request for $250 million more dollars to be added on top of the existing budget. Half of that money, roughly half of that money, was for new initiatives, new program, new staffing. The other half, $125 million roughly, was to maintain current staffing levels. So again, the issue the board was faced with was how to fund the Sheriff's Department. The board did not cut the budget. The board actually, to Supervisor Spiegel's point, added roughly $25 million to the budget, so that the sheriff's budget is now roughly $500 million of general fund dollars. The sheriff's position is that because of additional costs, as Supervisor Washington mentioned, some of those are labor costs. Other additional costs are related to insurance costs or gas costs or just the additional cost of doing business, that the sheriff needed additional money to maintain his current staffing levels. At the time, the sheriff, during the budget hearing, said that if the Sheriff's Department did not receive an additional $125 million, that could result in approximately 600 deputies, fewer deputies a year from now. That would include potentially layoffs. This board at the time said there is not the intention of the board to have layoffs in the Sheriff's Department, that the board would work with the sheriff to determine the appropriate level of additional funding to try and maintain staffing levels as best we can, while recognizing, as Supervisor Washington said, across the whole enterprise, we are certainly in the process of tightening our belts. So those discussions have occurred, and they are ongoing. About what level of just-in-time funding will be supplied to the Sheriff's Department over the course of this budget year, so that there aren't layoffs, so that there aren't mass exodus, so that while we are certainly engaged in a time of belt tightening, that there is a balance between public safety and the impacts across the rest of the organization. Okay. So again, as indicated during the budget hearing, certainly hiring freezes, maximum fill rates, and just-in-time funding are budget strategies, and those will be applied to the Sheriff's Department in coordination and cooperation with the Sheriff's Department to avoid layoffs and to avoid massive service disruption.
Okay, thank you.
I have an additional question.
Yes,
Jeff,
go ahead.
On that, when the budget comes before us, there are the positions funded that some of those bodies are not in those positions, correct? So vacant positions?
Yes, so want to make sure that we're clear in how we're describing the language. When we adopt a budget, we also adopt positions for each department. What we try and do, generally speaking, is that when we adopt the budget, we want to make sure that we're only keeping those positions that a department believes that it can fill in a current fiscal year. So generally speaking, a department can only keep a position on the books if that position is funded a minimum of 50%. So that has helped us reduce the number of vacant, unfunded positions. I do want to list a caveat, certainly though, for the Sheriff's Department, because they are a unique department in that they need extra positions because of the way that an employee flows through the organization. An employee will maybe start at the sheriff's department as a trainee while going through the academy, and then after completion of the academy may fill a deputy sheriff position. So in the sheriff's department, they might have multiple positions on the books to allow for that flow.
And I know it's all related to budget, and we do have a comment from Supervisor Washington, but just a reminder, this is on an approving the law enforcement extension contract on the city of Moreno Valley. So just to keep us back in that. Okay, yeah. Okay, go ahead, Supervisor Washington.
I just wanted to add one more policy perspective. The city of Moreno Valley is contracting with the county sheriff's department for law enforcement services. They value public safety. This entire board values public safety. Across the board, throughout our entire county, 2.5 million residents, whether you're Republican, Democrat, Independent, everyone wants to live in safe communities, including the city of Moreno Valley. I live in a city that is a contract city as well, the city of Temecula. So there's no daylight between us on that topic. I think we're all going to be supportive of this because we all want safe communities.
Okay, thank you. And then Supervisor Perez?
I think everything's been said. The only thing I would ask is that that misinformation, that miseducation, the ongoing points that are being made, unfortunately, that are not true, they should stop. And that's real, especially when they come out in the news. You know, even the newspapers for that matter. So with that being said, I support this.
Okay, so we do have a motion from myself and then a second from Supervisor Washington. Any public comments on this, or?
I think we had it.
No, we already had it. So, okay, so let's call for the vote.
Supervisor Medina?
Yes.
Supervisor Spiegel?
Yes.
Supervisor Washington?
Yes.
Supervisor Perez? Supervisor Gutierrez?
Yes.
Let the record reflect the item passing as unanimous.
That's great. And good news, we've added more deputies to now one of our contract cities, so that's great. Okay, so now we go to item 3.74. Madam Clerk, how many?
We have 6 speakers signed up. 4 are present and 2 are online.
Okay, go ahead and call.
Ramona Batista, followed by Sabrina Tucker.
Okay, and just for clarity, this is the second reading, right? For the short-term rental,
Yes.
Madam Clerk, which is supposed to be routine, non-controversial? Okay.
Right.
Thank you. Okay.
Right here. Good morning,
Good morning.
Board of Supervisors, Ethan Gutierrez and Jose Medina. I know you guys personally and the rest of you. Good morning. My name is Ramona Batista, and I'm here to address the issue of STRs, in particular STR 00742. One of the things I want to say that I am definitely opposed to non-owner occupied or investors who own vacation homes, party houses, stores where there is not an owner present personally living on site. That should be prohibited for very obvious safety reasons. Hotels have check-in clerks. Campsites have check-in clerks. They want to see driver's license. They want to see IDs. They want to see car license plates. And this one that is in operation in a very tiny, family, peaceful-oriented community on a cul-de-sac, mind you, in Riverside County, began operating in an established neighborhood that was quiet prior to their existence. Since its operation, the neighborhood has experienced recurrent concerns involving large gatherings, excessive vehicles, limited parking, noise, after-hour disturbances, and noncompliance with occupancy and parking requirements. This last late Thursday evening, going into the wee hours of Friday morning, it's a school night, it's a work night, there's family working individuals, kids that go to school. It's a small neighborhood, but there was a serious incident involving a gunfire and firearms. Lay that on your hearts. Think about that. That disrupted the peace and the lives of many families. And one in particular, one of the bullets went right through the outside of the house and penetrated the bullet into a bedroom of an 8-year-old child. Instead of, well, the family had to collect all of the shrapnel from the drywall that was lying on the child's bed, and behind him, off to the side by the wardrobe closet. It was dangerously too close while the child was sleeping. Instead of collecting the shrapnel from drywall, he could have been collecting brain tissue, if you will. It is very dangerous to have these in the community and have all these incidents reoccurring. I am not here to determine whose fault or who's responsible, but they need to have, let law enforcement work out its investigative process. We are asking the county to address what falls within their authority, to ban unsafe conditions for our community. We respectfully request immediate review of the continued operation, consideration of all enforcement measures legally available, including review of emergency suspension or revocation if warranted. We also respectfully ask for the
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, time's up, ma'am. Thank you. Okay, Madam Clerk, next speaker, please.
Sabrina Tucker, followed by E. Petrella.
Please use whatever lawful authority is available
Okay.
to protect our neighborhood.
Officer, please, can you at least remind her? Thank you. Your time is up, please. Okay, next speaker, please.
Sabrina Tucker, followed by E. Petrella.
Thank you.
Hi, Sabrina.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm addressing you because I'm in opposition to having STRs and Airbnbs in neighborhoods. The reason being, it's like putting a poorly run hotel businesses in the middle of quiet neighborhoods. I'm going to speak on the same incident that took place. Have a family member that purchased a home in their established neighborhood before a neighboring property began operating a short-term rental. Because of the concerns in the safety and possible retaliation, and because there's active criminal investigation, I'm not going to publicly identify them or disclose their information. I do want to ask Riverside County to please immediately investigate the short-term rental certificate number 002742 and use every enforcement mechanism legally available to suspend and ultimately revoke this license. This is not based solely on one incident. This property has had, this short-term rental has had temporary renters and visitors confuse the neighboring homes with rental. Strangers have parked in a neighbor's private driveway, entered private property, approached the wrong front door, and even attempted to open that front door. There have been problems with trash containers not being put away and trash being left in the street. Recently, however, this escalated from a neighborhood problem to a life-threatening public safety concern. During a party at the short-term rental, a shooting occurred that is now the subject of an investigative law enforcement. Out of respect for that investigation, I'm not going to discuss anything about that, but I can tell you what happened to my family. Gunfire struck their home. A bullet penetrated the bedroom wall of a child in the family while he was in bed and missed his head by approximately 2 feet. A child could have been killed while lying in his own bed. Even during the law enforcement response, these individuals at the short-term rental again entered using neighboring property that was private, placing their belongings and cases of beer on the neighbor's mailbox area. We understand that criminal responsibility is the matter of enforcement, but we are asking the county to please investigate this. Above all, a child should be safe while sleeping in his own bedroom. Please do not wait for another serious incident to take place or another bullet to actually strike someone. I'm asking this in full respect of the county supervisors because code enforcement is not adequately staffed to monitor and provide enforcement. Insufficient oversight puts the burden onto the permanent residents to monitor STRs and Airbnbs, which is not fair. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing your personal story. Okay,
E. Petrella,
next. Okay.
followed by Paul Petrella.
Hi.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Sad that just described my life for the past 5 years. Very sorry to hear that happened again. I'm here because I have a few concerns regarding the new amendment. And the first one is the new ordinance states that the new hosted occupancy is raised by 2 in the different districts. Now, I would like to see something in there that's the words, the new 2 includes the hostess, because it's going to be very confusing now to determine the occupancy. The way it's written now, it says it's now 12, but if you take away the 2 for the hostess, we're back down to the original 10. So I don't understand why that had to be put in there. So that's one. And that should be included on the permit sign too, if you're gonna have that. It should say minus the 2 hostess, which will equal 10. Also, the second one is, the ordinance also states that the responsible party must be available 24/7. What about in the hosted STRs? Because I've noticed some of the hostess are not around when they have multiple units being rented. So should they be there 24/7 when they have transient clients? I would like to know. And then lastly, I do have kudos for myself. And it's in regards to I can't get it. In regards to an idea that I brought forward 2 years ago and is now going to be implemented finally.
Okay.
And that is the one about having the code enforcement officers dedicated to a specific area and reporting straight to and from that area. I brought it to you guys actually exactly 2 years ago. So I just wanted to give myself kudos for that. I guess it's better late than never. I don't know why I cannot. Thank you, thank you. Oh, here. Districts to respond to complaint calls in the same day, I thought maybe this could help. I believe that a code enforcement officer should be dedicated to the areas of concern or high concentration. And these code enforcement officers should start and end their shift there, working.
Thank you so much, and really appreciate you bringing that up 2 years ago. And I will ask Ronnie to get back to you on some of those questions. Okay. Well, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. Okay.
Paul
Next
Petrella.
speaker. Yeah. Good morning.
So here we are again for the 3rd time in 3 years, I want to say, doing the same thing. I think some people define insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. And that's how I think we are with this. You're not ever going to solve the problems or the issues that keep coming up from us residents unless you don't allow short-term rentals and party houses. This has been my mantra from day one, as you well know. They said we don't want them. I particularly don't want them in our residential district. Now, you know, I'm in the wine country out in Temecula, and they have 3 districts. 2 of them are commercial districts, the winery district and the equestrian district. You could probably make a case for that in those areas. But in the residential district where I live, and I hear the other folks that come up here, they're in a residential district too. We should not have these things. Plenty of cities and other counties and other jurisdictions ban them outright. City of Temecula bans them, right, Supervisor Washington? You don't have one next to your house. We're surrounded by them where we live, and you know this. And it doesn't matter how many times we come up here and complain and we talk to code and they blah, 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 and it doesn't change. Well, if it changes, but it's not fixed. The problem is not fixed. And so, yes, are we the ones that complain the most and complain the loudest? Absolutely. I think you made that comment a couple of weeks ago about, is it the same people always complaining? Well, if it's the same people being constantly disturbed, shouldn't those be the people who are constantly complaining? It only makes sense. We complain. Same thing. So this is why we come up here, and we're not the most respectful people in the world about this because of what we've been through. We were in the beginning, as you well know. You used to come up here and, oh, yes, you know, we worked with your staff, and we still work with your staff, Supervisor Washington. But the bottom line is it hasn't changed. We have the same issues, the same problems. All I would ask is that you ban them in the residential district of the wine country. That's self-serving. I get it. But it's the only solution. And you had said, was it 2 or 3 years ago when we met with you in person, Supervisor, and you said you don't have the other 2 votes you need to make that happen. Well, it's been 3 years. Do you have the other 2 votes to make that happen? Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir. And we have some more speakers, right?
Our 2 online speakers did not call in, but I'll call their name to see if they're present.
Okay, and then just a friendly reminder to everyone, because I know there's some folks that are new. If you want to react to any of the speakers, that's totally fine. It's your right. But we just ask that you at least just snap your finger or instead of clapping, just so we can get the meeting kind of rolling and flowing good. So go ahead, call those 2.
Fabian Batista and Tricia Kuehl. Are either of you in the audience?
Okay, seeing that they're not here.
Then there are no further speakers.
Okay. And we don't have anybody called in for that, right? Okay. All right, so we'll go ahead. Any comments? And again, this is the second reading. We already had a major discussion of this in the last, and this is just, by law, we have to do the second reading. It's routine, non-controversial. So we'll start with Supervisor. Did you have a Washington?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, with that said, I'll move staff's recommendation for staff, or for the board to approve the second reading of this item. And we did have quite a lengthy discussion at the first hearing.
Okay, great. So that's a motion made by Supervisor Washington, second by Supervisor Perez. Madam Clerk, please call for the vote.
Supervisor Medina?
Yes.
Supervisor Spiegel?
Yes.
Supervisor Washington?
Yes.
Supervisor Perez?
Yes.
Supervisor Gutierrez?
Yes.
Let the record reflect the item passing as unanimous.
Okay, great. Thank you, Madam Clerk. We will now move to item 3.75. Is that correct?
That is correct, and we no longer have a speaker for this item, so if we can just get a motion and a second and a board vote.
Motion made by Supervisor Perez. Any second? Second by Supervisor Medina. Please call. Oh, wait, did you have a comment?
Nope.
Okay, please call for the vote.
Supervisor Medina?
Yes.
Supervisor Spiegel?
Yes.
Supervisor Washington?
Yes.
Supervisor Perez?
Yes.
And Supervisor Gutierrez?
Yes, and that. Go ahead. That means it carries.
Yes.
So now we'll go to 3.93. Is that correct? All right, and that is, I believe, my item with Supervisor Medina. Go ahead, Adam.
We have 7 speakers signed up for this item.
Okay. Is it from the same group?
No, there's a lot of new names here.
Okay, a lot of new names. Okay, we'll do 2 minutes each. Go ahead and call the first.
Aaron Viveros, followed by Albert Duarte.
Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning. I am Aaron Viveros. I work for Associated Builders and Contractors of Southern California. I'm ABC SoCal's master trainer, and I oversee 30 lab techs and instructors. Dear members of the board, on behalf of Associated Builders and Contractors of Southern California and the apprentices we train at our state and federally approved programs, we urge you to negotiate inclusive language in the proposed community workforce agreement to include all apprentices trained under the state-approved apprenticeship programs. We believe public projects should be open, competitive, and accessible to all. To achieve this, your board is encouraged to include language allowing all apprentices on projects regardless of union membership. Under the definition section, CWA typically limit apprentices coming from only joint apprenticeship or managed apprenticeship programs. To promote fairness, we request language that allows all state-approved apprentices and approved apprenticeship programs to be dispatched under the CWA. There are over 1,000 ABC apprentices throughout Southern California with over 200 training in Riverside. These apprentices are pursuing careers in construction, are becoming journey-level workers in electrical, plumbing, low voltage, and sheet metal crafts. Each apprentice is required to meet a minimum number of hours to graduate from the programs and up to 2,000 hours per year, depending upon the program. Exclusion from these projects prevents them from working on projects that they would gain valuable hands-on experience to advance their career and matriculate and graduate from our ABC state-approved apprenticeship program. Not only do the apprentices lose out on opportunities, but they are also robbed of a chance to work on their own community. We strongly urge the board to support local apprentices by utilizing.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, sir. Okay, next speaker, Albert. Hey, how you doing, Albert? Good morning.
Good morning, Supervisors. Thank you for this time. Director Van Wagen, good morning, thank you. I just want to address, we're here to support the item of the Community Workforce Agreement. And really, the reason is we want to build a relationship with you. And that's what the agreement is meant to do, to incorporate the county, its residents, and the people. You know, the previous speaker noted that that his apprenticeship program is being affected. We want to work with everybody. But the programs that we work with are absolutely free to the people that participate in them. So they come to us, they're going to go through a 4 to 5 year program, and they're going to be skilled and trained when they come out of our programs. We're proud of them. It's 150 years of us working in the craft. We don't just get a building, build it, and put a welding shop and a drafting table. That's 150 years of us dying, learning how to do things correctly. So we put in a lot of sweat equity and blood into our work, and I'm proud of each and every one of them. So I'm here to support the item. I ask you to agree with that, but thank you for this time.
Thank you so much, Albert. Next two.
Dave Everett, followed by Louis Lopez.
Good morning, sir.
Morning. Thank you for the time. My name is Dave Everett. I'm with the Western Electrical Contractors Association, and like the first speaker, you know, we would like to ask that all apprentices that work in Riverside County be included on this project, or I mean on this project labor agreement or community workforce agreement, whatever you want to call it. It's a discriminatory special interest deal that'll raise costs about 30%. Also, according to the president of the African American Chamber of Commerce, 98% of Black and Hispanic construction companies are non-union shops. Thus, a project labor agreement, or you guys want to hide it and call it a community workforce agreement, greatly limits the opportunities for Black and Hispanic firms. The president of the CEO of the National Black Chamber of Commerce says, claims that a PLA can be a tool to ensure minority construction workers and businesses are used on a public project is a farce. Shane Harris, the president and CEO of the People's Alliance for Justice here in Southern California, says, these PLAs promise local hire and outreach to minority neighborhoods, but the union's promises have always been empty. As I mentioned, I'm asking that all Riverside County apprentices be allowed to work on this project. We're a state-approved and federally approved apprenticeship program, just like the unions are. While we oppose the CWA and PLA, we could hold our nose and remove our opposition if the CWA was able to include all Riverside County apprentices from a state-approved program. When Supervisor Washington visited our facilities and spoke to our apprentices, you had a chance to see our first-class training facility located right here in Riverside County over on Van Buren. By amending the CWA to include all Riverside County apprentices, the county would avoid discriminating against the apprentices you visited and that live and go to school and work here in Riverside County. Also, the business community knows that this PLA CWA is bad for Riverside. That's why the Greater Riverside Chamber of Commerce's official position.
Okay, thank you, sir. And we appreciate your comments and your input. Thank you, sir. Okay, next speaker.
Louis Lopez, followed by Johnny Escobedo.
Did he not get 3 minutes? I got 2. But we did 2.
Good morning. First of all, I'd like to point out the members back here from the unions, the many different races back there. I'd also like to bring into attention that our apprenticeship programs, just like Albert had said, have been around more than 100 years. We are an established, accredited California state apprenticeship programs. They're 4 to 5 years, okay? They're not 2,000 hours. They're twice that. And I'd like to kind of compare it to what Supervisor Washington was saying about the law enforcement, attracting viable officers that have the training to do that. It's the same aspect. It's almost like putting a security guard into a law enforcement position and send them out to active shooter thing. Our apprentices are trained through college credits. So it's, yeah, that's like comparing apples to oranges as far as I'm concerned. The Ironworkers Local 433 are in support of this community workforce agreement, and it has been proven through other cities and through other school boards, including the Riverside Unified School District, which is here where this is. It's called Skilled and Trained, and I think the public should be offered that. Just like this building here was built by union hands. And it's called Skilled and Trained, and anybody inside of a public entity should be able to feel safe. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Louis. We have our, okay, go ahead.
Johnny Escobedo, followed by Omar Kobian.
Okay, good morning, John.
Morning, Supervisors. My name is John Escobedo. So I'd like to start off my conversation this morning by stipulating that I was a non-union worker in the beginning. I joined the union. In 2019, my son passed away from heart disease. Had it not been for the union and the benefits that the union has to offer, I would have been struggling really bad. My wife had to stop her job, and I wouldn't have been able to keep a roof over my family's head. I now have a daughter that graduated with her master's degree at the age of 26. She is working for school board in Santa Clarita. My other daughter works for an aerospace company. So the union has helped me out in an abundance of ways. I'm not sitting here knocking non-union, by no means, but we are an approved, accredited state apprenticeship program with skilled and trained labor. Had it not been for the wages of the union, you know what, I would have been lost. I had to uphold my household because of the catastrophe that I suffered through my family. You know what, I urge you to employ this community workforce agreement, and that's what it is, community workforce agreement. Keeping your local constituents working and keeping them local so that they can spend time with their families and not have to drive down to LA 3 hours one way and 4 hours the other way, so that they're not missing their children's dance recitals, so that they're not missing their children's baseball games or their soccer games. So I urge you to please move forward with this community workforce agreement, as I am living experience of what the union can do for you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker is Omar. And if you could just, yeah, thank you. Hey, Omar. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Supervisors. My name is Omar Kobian. I'm a representative for the Western States Regional Council of Carpenters, representing over 13,000 carpenters that live right here in the Inland Empire. You know, community workforce agreements, obviously, they strengthen the community, ensure that a certain percentage of local residents get to work on these projects. It incentivizes apprenticeships and the trade jobs. Yes, it does. But Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors unanimously passed a CWA in 2023, making it clear that public funded jobs should benefit the community, stimulating the local economy. Under a CWA, it doesn't just prioritize the community, but it prioritizes minority hire, women hire, and it also emphasizes that it prioritizes hire from the CTE programs for the Carpenters Career Connection programs, plus the MC3 program that the building trades has. So it creates that pathway from high school to now working locally. And I'll tell you as a representative, I can't tell you how many countless jobs we've gone to that are publicly funded projects that we find exploited workers, including workers from the so-called ABC. The fact that he would mention that it's going to raise the cost by 30% is a lie. The prevailing wage is the union wage. So unless his contractors are inflating prices with change orders and costing, somebody's charging 30%, that's a bold lie. Because under a community workforce agreement, you have a third-party compliance that dots the I's and crosses the T's. The problem why non-union contractors want to avoid these, because they can't skirt the system. They are not disqualified from applying, from getting these jobs. They can also bid on it. So with that, I support this and hope you vote unanimously. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, next speaker.
Roy Blecker.
Is
And Roy will
here?
be followed by our online speaker, Eric Kristen.
Okay. How you doing, Roy? Hi. Good.
Much to the surprise when this issue came up at Riverside Unified, as the previous speaker, of those in the dais, but not of those in the community and the Orange Vesters, I supported this when it came there and actually spoke on it, and I spoke on this at Moreno Valley and many other times. A lot of the points that came up, one of the previous speakers mentioned the 3.72, and it was just discussion of that, and you wouldn't have heard that if it wasn't for yours truly. And this is the thing, and I brought it up, and we had a discussion with Mr. Washington when SEIU contract was, and I explained why I would vote no on the contract. And it's because this is a problem. When your wages go up 5%, but your expenses go up 10%, you got a problem. You're going in the hole. And that's what I'm saying is we're not building this on a sustainable future where these guys, all of us, are going to have a brighter future than generations before. They're looking at down the 12-gauge barrel of a not-so-brighter future. And we need to do that. We need to pass more agreements like this, and we need to work together in the community. Like one of the speakers said previously, it's not union versus non-union. It's a community working together to build us all up.
Correct.
So we don't have the concerns that you just heard and will hear in the future if you don't get the wax out of your ears and get on the stick and start putting policies in place, starting with this and working in the future with all of us like we have proven in the community, in the business community, and then that brighter future will be glowing if we work in that direction.
Thank you, Roy. Okay. All right.
Our last speaker is Eric Christian, and Eric is online.
Colors on the line, just hit *6 on your phone to unmute yourself. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you. My name is Eric Christian. I'm the executive director of the Coalition for Fair Employment and Construction, formed 28 years ago by union and non-union construction firms who were opposed to discriminatory and wasteful project labor agreements like the one that you're considering today. My first question is, what's the problem that this solution is seeking to remedy? Is the county having problems with its bidding process? 90% of the construction workforce in California chooses to wake up on a daily basis and work in a union-free environment. That's their choice. If they felt the unions were providing a better future for them, they would go to work for the unions. I represent Berg Electric, who employs 2,800 non-union electricians. Are they providing a lesser than product? Of course not. It's nonsense. A few of the big labor special interests did us the favor of saying the quiet part out loud, and that they just think everybody should be union and that's the only people that the county should hire. But of course you can't do that. That would be explicitly discriminatory. So what they put in project labor agreements are implicitly discriminatory provisions. There are 56 counties in the state. 5 have used a PLA. Why have so few counties used a PLA? There's 23 school districts in Riverside County. 1 has used a PLA. Why is that? There are 28 cities in Riverside County. 2 have used a PLA. There's a reason. They don't work. They reduce your bidding pool, most of whom are non-signatory. Ask your signatory contractors. They don't want anything to do with project labor agreements. That's why they're not here testifying. Just the business agents who don't employ one worker and don't run one business. That's who's testifying in favor of them. The market is working fine. Why would you discriminate against non-union workers and keep their companies from bidding your work? How do they do that? Non-union apprentices aren't allowed at all. The few workers that are allowed under a PLA that are non-union have to pay into union health, welfare, and pension plans they'll never invest in. That's wage theft. Since when did unions start supporting wage theft? These are the questions that you need to ask. And the first thing you need to do is go to your contractors and conduct a survey that finds out how many you would lose if you put a PLA into effect. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Madam Clerk, any other?
That was our last speaker.
Okay. Thank you. Supervisor Washington? Okay, we'll go to comments from the board.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chair. If there's anything I say that may sound anti-union, please do not hear it that way. In the 25 years that I flew for Delta Airlines as a pilot, I was a member of the Airline Pilots Association, a union. I was actually very active in our union. I am not anti-union. We work here at the county where just about every employee is part of a union, and we support them. They are good employees. But I am kind of wondering, the last speaker commented, what is the problem here that we're trying to fix? Any of these public works projects are subject to prevailing wage. And so I'm worried that if his stats are correct, the last speaker's stats, about public agencies that are using PLAs, and it seems it's a very small percentage, and I know we're not calling them PLAs, we're calling them CWAs, in this particular agenda item. But if the numbers are accurate and we narrow down the eligible folks who can bid for these projects, I fear that perhaps, I don't know for certain, the cost to the county will go up. And so as a part of what this item, agenda item, asks for, it asks for a review by our executive office and county council to bring back, well, not necessarily recommendations, but at least a framework for answering questions that might help guide the board in making a decision. In doing so, I would ask that the executive office evaluate the pros and cons. Let us know going into this, are we likely to see increased costs for county public works projects that, again, are already subject to prevailing wage? I would like to also suggest that the executive office include language that was brought up in the course of this discussion, that everyone's available to work. And I'm not going to make that distinction and pit union against non-union. If you are in a state-approved apprentice program, I can support that. And it doesn't mean I don't support the unionized workers. That's their choice. But I think all of this should go into the executive office's evaluation when they bring back their recommendation. So if all of those things are included in the motion, I'd be happy to support it.
Okay. Thank you, Supervisor Washington. And we do have comments from Supervisor Perez, but I just wanted to make one quick comment. What this will do is, again, start the discussion of, how can we ensure safety standards, but also more importantly, local hire. So the main issue that we have here is we're really a bedroom community here in Riverside County. People are commuting to LA, San Diego for jobs, and we really need to look at ways. And so in Moreno Valley, full transparency, I was the mayor there, and we started a community workforce agreement there. And in talks with the building trades and even the private community and developers, Roy was there, at that meeting as well. We came up with a number that worked for everyone, that was appropriate for everyone, and it was a great time during that time. And I believe we're one of the cities along with Paris as well. Anyways, I'll stop there, and then we'll go to Supervisor Perez. Oh. And then, you're after Perez.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair, and I want to thank you as well as Supervisor Medina for bringing this forward. Obviously, Supervisor Washington is in support, as well as I am. And I'd like to thank the union members that are here, as well as those that are not union members that supposedly, or that perhaps already support these type of efforts as well. I don't know anyone that's ever been through an apprentice program that has not been very successful in taking care of their families. Matter of fact, everyone that I know that has been through an apprenticeship program has done very, very well for themselves and their communities and their families as a whole. I have cousins that have been through it. I have friends that have been in the prison system, that have come out of the system and have been part of an apprenticeship program and now working for a union and doing very well for themselves when no one else wanted to give them a shot. That's what this is about. It's not just about salaries and making sure that you get the pay that you deserve. It does say here about making sure that there's language included so that you're able to bid, if you will, on these type of projects. But at the end of the day, how I see it is that, obviously I agree with that, but at the end of the day, how I see it is folks that really are down and out, folks that really need a hand up, if you will, or just some encouragement. I see the apprenticeship program doing that for these folks. By the way, besides that being said, I also know that they do it on time, many times, and under budget. And that's what everybody likes to hear. And that's the reality of it all. So it says here, inclusive language, and I appreciate that. Let's do that. And let's not, if you will, not go there. I think we should go there. Why not? Let's give it an opportunity to folks that really need that. And let's work together with DVBA, the BIA, the private sector as well to make sure that we get somewhere. And as well, obviously, the County of Riverside and all government entities. Thank you, Supervisor.
Thank you, Supervisor Perez. And I forgot that Supervisor Spiegel actually had yours before Supervisor Medina, so we'll go with Supervisor Spiegel, if you don't mind. Okay. Supervisor Spiegel?
Thank you. Those of you who don't know, I came, our family, my husband's family had a union shop. We were electrical contractors with IB 440. And so I know exactly working in the union field, and I know about prevailing wage, which, as it was mentioned by some of the speakers, that prevailing wage is not only union, just whoever works that has to do prevailing and have the standards. Understanding that this is a 90-day review and to bring it back, certainly can support it, because my one concern is we are really working to offer more trade schools here in Riverside County. I know that Senator Cervantes got some funding through RCC to do a trade school out in Hooper Valley. So I'm kind of installed right now, but these are the kind of things we have to make sure we review as it is put together in the next 90 days, is that when we're trying to put a future together for our students and we're giving them the opportunity to go to trade schools that may not be affiliated with the union, that it's more inclusive that we look at that. I'm not saying what the final solution is. I certainly think there's a lot of opportunity to review things. We had some great speakers, a lot of good information. We certainly need to delve into some of the things that they shared on all elements that were shared. And so I'm supportive of at least moving forward and looking at it. I think there's a lot of value because the trades are not going to go away. We're all living. Everything we have around us has been done by a trade. So there's something that is our children and our youth and even adults. I mean, veterans are put back into, after they come back and going into trade schools. Some of our seniors who have retired have come back and gone into trade school. So we really have to look at the wholeness of it and being inclusive if we can. So I really look forward to seeing this going forward for the next 90 days and bring it back.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Supervisor Spiegel. And we have, thank you for your patience, Supervisor Medina.
Thank you, Supervisor. Like Supervisor Washington, I was a proud member of our union, the California Teachers Association, for the 34 years that I was a classroom teacher. And I also want to share that as a member of the Riverside Community College Board of Trustees, close to 20 years ago, we passed a community workforce agreement at RCC. And I was proud to support it then. I think that what the community workforce agreement most brings to the entity is that, yes, the tax dollars that are spent are kept in the community, and so as it should be, so that the dollars spent stay here, that they are put back into the economy. And I very much appreciated the comments by the gentleman who said how much he benefited, his family benefited from being a member of the union when he most needed it. So I'm very happy to be a co-signer to this measure, and I look forward to it being brought back to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Medina. We have final comments from Supervisor Washington.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I've heard it said a couple of times, and it has raised a question in my mind. There seems to be an implication that if you're a union worker, then you work locally, that you work in the communities, as opposed to folks who are not union members don't work in the communities. And in my community, in the 3rd District, I don't see the difference. There's plenty of non-union workers that are working for local businesses and contractors who live either in the city they're working in or in an adjacent city. And so I only bring that up because, again, when our CEO comes back with his report, I want it to be demonstrated, at least to my satisfaction, that everybody's getting a fair shot at getting a job and working on a project, and that what was said or implied, that the only people who are working locally are people who are in a union act, because I just don't see that in my district. And we're talking about potentially an ordinance here that's countywide. And so maybe CEO should be evaluating how each district is impacted by a framework like this. So,
okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you, Supervisor Washington. And again, this is just an item to bring back. When Supervisor Medina and I debated on how to bring this item about, we wanted to, we have a pretty good board here, and we think that, transparency is important, and that's why we wanted to bring this item first, as opposed to just bringing a pre-cooked, solution here, because sometimes with discussion you can come up with new ideas and make it even better, for everyone. So with that, I'll go ahead and call for the vote. Actually, I entertain a motion to approve. Okay, I'll second, since I was signed on. Okay, Madam Clerk?
Supervisor Medina?
Yes.
Supervisor Spiegel?
Yes.
Supervisor Washington,
Yes.
Supervisor Perez, Supervisor Gutierrez.
Yes.
Let the record reflect the motion passed unanimously.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone, for speaking on that item. So now we're going to go to item 21.1, which I believe was taken off calendar, but County Council, you'd like us to vote separately still? Even though it was taken off?
Chair, was 22.1 is the one that's, we need to go 21.1 first.
Oh, did I skip? Okay, yeah, sorry. 21.1, which is Office of Economic Development. And Madam Clerk, any speakers on this one? District 3.
We have 2 speakers signed up for this item.
Okay, 2. Okay, and it's a public hearing, so, okay, we'll go ahead and start with the presentation. Okay, I'll go ahead and open the public hearing.
Thank you. Good morning, Madam Chair and Vice Chair Gutierrez, members of the board. Kim Wright with the Office of Economic Development. This item is a request related to the renewal of the Temecula Wine Country Tourism Marketing District with Visit Temecula Valley serving as the Owners Association. Today's action requests that the board conduct the required public hearing to declare the results of the majority protest proceedings and consider adoption of the resolution renewing the district. The Temecula Wine Country Tourism Marketing District is a benefit assessment district that provides a dedicated funding source for tourism marketing, promotion, and sales activities that benefit the lodging businesses within the district. If renewed, the district is anticipated to generate approximately $750,000 annually for tourism promotion, helping market Temecula Valley as a destination for leisure traveling, meetings and events with the goal of increasing overnight visitation and room nights for participating lodging businesses. The district is funded entirely through assessments on the participating lodging businesses with no county general fund impact. Visit Temecula Valley team members are here and available should the board have any questions. Staff recommends that the board conduct the public hearing, declare the results of the majority protest proceedings, and adopt resolution 2026-159, renewing the Temecula Wine Country Tourism Marketing District. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you so much, Kim. And any questions to staff before we do public comments? No? Okay, seeing none, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go ahead and go to the 2 public speakers.
Paul Petrella, followed by E. Petrella.
Okay. And then no questions from speakers. Okay.
Hello again. So, and my wife's going to bring this up in a little more detail, I think. She studies these things. But this whole concept of tourism and the Temecula wine country or the Temecula area in general, how does it affect or what is its impact on the residential district? Keep in mind, again, I get it. Downtown Temecula, the winery district, the equestrian district, these are all commercial areas. I don't live in those. I live in a residential district. There's no benefit to me of this organization or this group or bringing in visitors. We call them unvetted transients. Now, if they were sending me a check every month from those funds that they collect, they would send those to all the residents who are impacted by all the traffic, all the parties. Kind of goes into the STR thing, all the parties. That'd be another story. So if they're collecting X amount of dollars to promote more traffic disturbances, crime, graffiti, yes, we have that now in Temecula. We believe it's the folks coming in. We don't think it's the folks that live there, at least not the folks that live in the residential district. So again, what's the benefit to the residents in the residential district who are just living there? We're not running a business. We don't work for any of these organizations that bring in the tourism. We're just retired. We just want a quiet, peaceful life. But again, They're collecting, how much did they say they're bringing in business? Some 100,000 million? Send me a check monthly. I'm sure they're all collecting a check. They're not doing this out of the kindness of their hearts. Everybody in these organizations, I would just love to have someone come up and say, I work for this organization and we do this and we collect nothing. We're all volunteers. We don't get a penny. We don't even get our gasoline reimbursed. I'd love to hear one of them say that, but that's not the case. They're all making six-figure salaries. Bring me the money. Send me a check. I can become part of the grift.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Okay, next speaker.
E. Petrella. And this will be our last speaker.
Okay. Hi.
Hello again.
Hello.
That's their district map that they have. I think I understand this a little bit better than my husband, but anyhow, I had requested that this organization remove my parcel from their marketing district, and they failed to do so. But I do want to know who gave this organization the power to acquire my property rights and to include my parcel as part of their marketing district of lodging businesses. Now, under the streets and highways provision, which is how they came about this assessment, they also list activities and improvements that can be done with the money collected. Now, can they provide any of the activities or improvements made within the marketing district besides the marketing of their own businesses? I noticed that the assessment list also provided as part of the agenda item is not accurate. This list includes many illegal STRs, unpermitted cottages, unpermitted and illegal bed and breakfast, and other illegal non-residential facilities being rented out as STRs. Now, this is a big red flag that proves this organization is nothing more than an excuse to legally collect an assessment fee using California laws and provisions created to help businesses located and operating in disadvantaged, underutilized communities. This nonprofit organization needs to audit their files, update the assessment list, and stop encouraging and enabling illegal lodging businesses that operate in the residential area. I also noticed that the district, the map, does not include the city of Temecula. There's a lot of businesses, lodging businesses, that are in their website, and they collect an assessment from them, but it's not, City of Temecula is not listed here as the marketing district, and I would like to know why that is. Thank you so much. And I think they say they're here if we have any questions.
Okay, thank you. Okay, no other speakers, so this is in District 3, so I'll turn it over to Supervisor Washington.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Perhaps I could ask that someone from Visit Temecula Valley come and just answer a couple of questions.
Sure.
Simple, easy questions. And actually, the only question I have right now is the relationship between, Visit Temecula Valley and the wine country business. I'm going to call it an improvement district, but I think there's a different word.
And for the city.
And the one that the city is operating, but
if
no,
you could speak.
talk
I'm
in the
sorry.
microphone, yeah.
So she was asking about the lodging
In
within
the
the
city of
city of
Temecula.
Temecula.
Yeah.
It's a completely separate assessment. That's the TID. It's a separate assessment through the hotels. A 2% or 4% is collected.
And
It
but you
completely
manage
outside
that,
the boundary. Yes, we do.
and that's where it started.
Yeah. So that's
I'll give you all the answers to say.
okay. so yeah, completely separate thing than the TMB.
Okay.
So your question, or?
Yes, I got my answer.
That's it, okay.
I got her answer from you.
You know, if I'd like to pay a compliment both to the petitioners and to the supervisors, code enforcement has been a request from both the residents and us. So we agree with you, and we're very grateful that that's being ramped up. So thank you.
Right. And we've had that conversation in my office and also with my staff. We understand that. And the folks that are here representing the agency that oversees all of that, they're listening and they're paying attention and they're vigorously nodding their heads back there that they understand and are working hard at it. So we're on it. That was the main focus. That was the word that was underscored at our last hearing, where we had the first hearing of the ordinance about STRs, was get results. You know, we can keep writing fancy language, but we need to get results. This, I think, is a model of success. $1.2 billion in a clean industry for the Southwest. My goal is to catch up with Supervisor Perez. Sure, he has well over $7 billion in the Coachella Valley in tourism, but I think we can catch him. 10 billion. He's greedy. Anyway,
Would
thank
you
you.
like to make a
Thank
motion,
you.
sir?
Yes, I will move to approve staff's recommendation.
Okay, motion made by Supervisor Washington. He needs it. I'll second. Supervisor Gutierrez, second. Please call for the vote.
Supervisor Medina?
Yes.
Supervisor Spiegel?
Yes.
Supervisor Washington?
Yes.
Supervisor Perez? And Supervisor Gutierrez?
Yes.
Let the record reflect the motion passes as unanimous.
Okay, perfect. So that moves us on to item now 22.1, which was taken off calendar, but I guess we need to do a vote on that?
Yes, thank you,
Okay.
Chair.
All right, I entertain a motion to vote to take this off calendar.
I'll move. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I'll move to continue item 22.1 off calendar.
Did you want a second, Supervisor Medina? Okay. Second by Supervisor Medina. Please call for the vote.
Supervisor Medina?
Yes.
Supervisor Spiegel?
Yes.
Supervisor Washington?
Yes.
Supervisor Perez?
Yes.
And Supervisor Gutierrez?
Yes.
Let the record reflect the item passing as continued off calendar.
Great. Thank you so much. And that moves us on to our only land use item, which is 23.1. And I believe this one is in District 3, but we'll go ahead and start with a presentation from TLMA. Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Russell Brady presenting this item, agenda item number 23.1, which consists of a specific plan amendment, general plan amendment, change of zone, tentative track map, and plot plan. The project site is located in the 3rd District, generally in the French Valley area, specifically located north of Benton Road and west of Washington Street. The site's current general plan land use designation is commercial retail, reflecting the current specific plan land use designation for the site. The project's general plan amendment proposes land use designations that are medium high density residential and high density residential, which reflects the proposed land use designations of the specific plan amendment. Surrounding land use designations include medium density residential to the north, west, and south, medium high density residential to the east, commercial tourist to the south, and rural community estate density residential also to the south. The site's current zoning is specific plan, reflecting the site's location in specific plan 286, Winchester 1800. The project's change of zone proposes to retain the specific plan zoning, but specifically define the boundaries for proposed plan areas 36 and 55. Surrounding zoning is primarily within the same specific plan to the north, south, and west, with planned residential R4 to the east and residential agricultural zoning to the south. Project site is currently vacant. Surrounding land uses are primarily single-family residential uses to the east, north, and west, with developing residential uses to the south. And the existing Fieldview Park borders a portion of the project's northern boundary closest to Washington Street. Shown here are the specific plan land use plans, with the current approved land use plan shown on the left and the proposed land use plan through the specific plan amendment shown on the right. The area of change in the land use is in the southeast portion of the specific plan, which is zoomed in a bit here, showing the current designation of commercial retail for plan area 36 on the left, and on the right, the proposed designations for plan area 36 as medium high density residential and a new plan area 55 as high density residential. In total, these plan areas would allow for a total of 148 units in this area.
The hearing has been open.
The conversion of commercial designated areas for residential development is something that both the applicant and staff considered as part of the project. This was a potential concern since we want to ensure that at build out of the overall community that there is adequate destinations for day-to-day shopping and services for residents of the area as well as for gathering. Our initial assessment of this location was it is relatively on the fringe of existing and potential future development in the French Valley area, and thus is not as much of a prime destination for commercial tenants to be attracted to. Even with the loss of this site as commercial, there is still existing or planned commercial development relatively nearby, as shown on the exhibit here, with the noted distances to those areas from the project site at least. Lastly, the county's general plan includes policy land use 29.2. That includes the assumption that for each area plan, that 60% of the commercial designated area would actually be expected to convert to residential development. So the conversion to residential is actually supported by the general plan. The tentative tract map is a proposal to subdivide the 16.5 acre site for 148 single-family residential lots, 66 of which will be standard lots with a minimum lot size of 2,800 square feet, and the other 82 are garage court-style lots with a minimum lot size of 2,400 square feet. The development has coordinated with Valleywide Recreation and Parks District for the incremental park impacts of the project, including additional residential units, and has agreed to include an approximately 0.85 acre expansion of the existing Fieldview Park that is adjacent to the site. Interior streets will be private and include sidewalks on both sides. Parking will primarily be provided via the garages for each of the lots that will provide 2 spaces each. There are 75 total on-street parallel spaces that will be provided as well. And additional to that, each of the standard lots, the 66 lots, includes a full-length driveway that can accommodate 2 vehicles each as well. Since parking is sometimes a concern for these developments, to assist with ensuring adequate parking will be provided in the development, a condition is included on the track for certain parking rules to be incorporated into the CC&Rs to be enforced by the HOA. Typically, this covers things like garages are used for parking rather than storage, as many residents tend to do. Shown here is the planned plotting of certain lots, with the standard lots shown on the left and the garage courts on the right. The standard lots include the minimum 18-foot deep driveway and a relatively larger depth backyards. And then the garage courts on the right have small driveways that would not allow for parking and a rear yard of a minimum depth of 10 feet. Shown here is the wall and fence plan. The perimeter will be a block wall with cap and pilasters spaced out. Between the lots will also be a block wall with cap as well. And then tubular steel fencing will surround the basin at the northwest portion of the site. And 3-rail vinyl fencing will be behind the sidewalk bordering the park expansion area, which there would be direct pedestrian access from the development to that park. To also note, along the northern boundary, there is an existing block wall for the existing residential development there. That is proposed to be retained as is. And then entry monuments will be included at the 2 corners of Benton Road at Washington and Moser on the west side of the site. Comments from the public were received prior to and at the Planning Commission meeting from the public. These comments generally include those listed here on the slide, which I'll kind of go through here as quick as I can. On commercial development, as demonstrated on the earlier slide, there are locations for commercial development nearby, both existing and potential future. There were concerns on there being adequate recreation area for the additional residents. The project does include the added park area, as noted before, to expand the existing Fieldview Park to address the incremental increase in park demand created by the project. There were generally concerns about traffic generation. The project did prepare a traffic study that was reviewed and approved by our transportation staff, and the project would meet applicable level of service thresholds. And the project is required to provide improvements along its frontage and the installation of a traffic signal at Benton and Washington. There were concerns on the project only having one means of access, or one regular means of access, and the traffic would, and the traffic issues that would create on Moser Road. An additional access point on Benton Road is not normally allowed due to spacing requirements per the Transportation Department for Benton Road. An emergency vehicle access route is proposed through the expanded park area at the northeast corner of the site to address secondary access requirements for the project. There are concerns that adequate parking is not provided in the project and that future residents or their guests will park on Moser Road, overflowing to the existing residential community, potentially creating a nuisance to residents there. As noted in the prior slide, adequate parking is provided on the project site, and the rules to be incorporated in the CCNRs and their enforcement of those by the HOA would ensure adequate parking is provided on site. There were some concerns noted about the project not replacing the existing perimeter wall along the project's northern boundary. The wall appears to be in good condition, and there's no necessity to replace the wall. And if the development were to replace that wall, that would have to be coordinated with each individual property owner to the north. Lastly, one comment noted the desire for including an open space between the existing residential development and the proposed development to act as a buffer of the proposed development to the existing residential uses. While open space areas can be an effective strategy to buffer existing lower density development from newer high density development, the density of the proposed project is not substantially different from the existing development to necessitate such a buffer, nor is the proposed development site substantial in size to accommodate it very well, since there's not a lot of space there. On top of that, such open space areas, while potentially good in idea, may actually become attractive nuisances, collecting trash or presenting security problems by allowing people to have access to that or limiting view from neighbors or sheriff patrols. And then also to note, we did receive a comment or an email yesterday with additional comments that was provided to the board this morning via memo, also for your consideration for the record. With that, with these comments noted and those responses from staff and the Planning Commission recommend that the board consider the addendum to the EIR, tentatively approve the general plan amendment, tentatively approve the specific plan amendment, tentatively approve the change of zone, tentatively approve the tentative track map, and tentatively approve the plot plan. That concludes staff's presentation. Available for any questions the board might have at this time.
Thank you, sir. So in summary, it's adding more housing, and I know this is District 3, so I'm going to turn it over to District 3 if you have any
question.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Russell, I was wondering if you could go back to the slide presentation and go initially to slide number 5. And
there we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
So this has come up several times in discussion with various developers along Washington there. Over to the right, that's Lake Skinner and the dam. Is all of that green area where it says vacant residential lot? I assume that was Rancho California Water District property.
Yeah, I think that is Water District property there. I'm not sure the coding, the terminology you see there on that exhibit, I believe is sourced from assessor data. And so that vacant residential lot may not exactly reflect its real use on the site as I think it's MWD property, yeah.
And then, of course, you know where the entrance to the lake is. It's not anywhere near there.
Yeah.
You can't scale the dam and hop in.
I can't, at least, no.
And yet, a long time ago, you were probably still in elementary school. I was in high school then. Someone said that the site for this residential development that's being proposed should be commercial because there was anticipated commercial needs associated with the lake. But it doesn't make sense because no one's going to go all the way around from the lake and come and shop there and then go back. And it's just too inconvenient. Is there a reason why that remains that way, or are we just going to gradually change zones? Because that's what's driving the zone change, right?
In terms of the history on it, that's my understanding. Reading the specific plan is there was some idea that Lake Skinner and the entrance, from Washington, I won't say the entrance from Washington, but Washington Street being a funneling to the entrance for Lake Skinner on far to the east.
Yeah.
There would be potential commercial opportunities there. this specific plan being approved, I think in the early 90s. As time has passed on, that commercial development hasn't really materialized, whether driven by Lake Skinner or from residential development that has developed over the past 20 years.
Yeah.
At this point, with development interest in the area and the apparent lack of commercial interest, the residential development makes sense in this area.
Yeah. Can you go to slide 9 for a moment and then to slide 12? So the lots, I think, if I read it correctly, are 6 through 20. Maybe 5. It's hard to see the numbers. But the lots that back up to the existing residential development. So, and then you can go to slide 12, because you talked about it. Proposed boundary wall fence. The developer's planning to build a wall there. Was that the discussion?
No, there's an existing wall that was built from the existing development there.
Yeah.
Generally, it appears to be in good condition. There's no real need to replace that wall.
Okay.
Again, if the developer was to replace that wall, they'd have to coordinate that and negotiate with each of those individual property owners.
Yeah.
To do that.
Was there a request that came for some additional screening between properties?
I believe at least one of the public comments noted a desire for additional screening along that boundary because in their view, this new development would place 2-story homes on the opposite side of their rear yards, and that there was a desire for additional screening beyond what that 5 to 6 foot existing block wall provided.
And traditionally, home builders don't landscape backyards. Sometimes they put in a front yard, but nothing in the back. But I'm just wondering about the feasibility of perhaps a couple of trees in the back of each yard along that row, something like a crepe myrtle, to help screen and give those folks in the existing homes some privacy from the second story of the new homes.
That is potential. Generally, those rear yards are between 10 to 15 yards deep, and so there's space for that, especially right adjacent to that wall.
You said 10 or 15 yards?
Oh, sorry, feet.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a good, yeah.
Sorry. 10 to 15 feet rear yards, and so there is some space there for additional landscaping, whether it be trees or shrubs, tall growing shrubs that could provide such screening after a certain amount of
It's not
growth.
a big yard, and so I think asking for a lot of landscaping would be kind of a burden. But I think perhaps a couple of trees, semi-mature, that will grow up and provide some privacy. And when we talk later and hear from the applicant, maybe I can get some feedback from them on that. That's all I wrote down. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. And then we have the applicant here. If the applicant could come up and then whatever you want to do, Supervisor Washington, you want to ask him some questions, or would you like him? Okay.
We just met last week, so I don't need a whole presentation. But we did bring up the issue of some sort of screening. And I really would like to see, I think it's, 14 lots maybe? I didn't count them. Along that back wall or front wall.
So, thank you, Supervisor Washington. I think that question is actually better suited. So, my name is Lance Ratuya, representing the applicant. I think the applicant is here herself. So, since that sounds like a condition or a commitment, I'd like her to kind of answer that for you. So,
okay, all right, thank you. And other than that, I like the project. I think I told you that when we met.
Thank you. Good morning, Supervisors. My name is Louisa Fletto. I'm the applicant with Meritage Homes. In conditions like this, where we have, proposed projects abutting existing single-family homes in particular, we have looked at incorporating some screening, whether it is large vertical shrubs or trees into the yards. I think right now, given the properties designation with the updated fire zones, we would want some flexibility to work with our landscape architect to determine what would be the best fit there, but we are open to adding some screening into those yards.
Okay. And the only reason I mentioned trees, because I thought maybe that would be the most efficient and affordable way to go. It's not my project, it's yours, but it obviously would need to, at some point, reach a height that can achieve the goal, which would be to provide some privacy.
Absolutely.
So if you're willing to make that commitment, verbalize that commitment to do something, it would probably need to go a little higher than, if it's a 6-foot wall, it's probably got to go higher than that.
Yeah, and we've had different communities where we've there's definitely vertical shrubs that get to that kind of 8 to 12-foot range as well. So we'd want to work with our landscape architect to make sure that whether it's trees or shrubs, that it's something that works for the climate zone, for all of that kind of stuff.
Privets will get that high, but then you have privets that high. So
yes.
Yeah. All right, so you're saying yes, that you would.
Yeah, we're open
You're
to adding
going.
a condition that would have some screening added into those yards.
I appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any other
All right.
questions?
No. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Any public comments on this item, Madam Clerk?
There are no public speakers.
Oh, very nice. Okay. So I'll entertain a motion then.
Are you going to close the public hearing?
Oh, yeah. I'll close the public hearing, and I believe Supervisor Washington.
Now, I'll move staff's recommendation with the amendments that we just discussed that were
Very nice.
verbalized. Yeah.
I'll second the motion. Oh, okay. You want to? Okay. Supervisor Medina second the motion. Let's go ahead and call for the roll call.
Supervisor Medina?
Yes.
Supervisor Spiegel?
Yes.
Supervisor Washington?
Yes.
Supervisor Perez? And Supervisor Gutierrez?
Yes.
Let the record reflect, the motion passed unanimous.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for participating. We'll now move to item number 24, which is public comments on non-agenda items. Madam Clerk, how many speakers do we have?
We have 15 speakers.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and do 2 minutes each, but right before that, we're just going to take a 2-minute restroom break, and then we'll come right back. Thank you, everyone. It's been more than 2 minutes, so we're going to go ahead and start. If you can please take your seats. Okay, thank you. Okay, we're going to go ahead and do our public comments on non-agenda items. Go ahead, Madam Clerk, and call.
Sergey Vinkov, followed by Linda Grilich.
All right. Hello, hi.
Good morning. May I start?
Good morning.
Good morning, board. My name is Sergey Vinkov. Maybe you will remember me from the last board meeting. I'm running for the governing board of the Mountain San Jacinto College. Okay, sorry.
Okay, we'll put a pause real quick.
And
go ahead.
They can hear you. It's okay, just talk.
And this election, I faced many struggles. I would like to call it like a political oppression, and oppression my speech from county employees. For example, I see our registrar sitting here. In the gallery, Art Sinoka, and I know this is kind of civil issues, and we can regulate this within the court. And I'm so glad that you allowed me to speak here and to place the public comments, because my college where I'm running for not allow me to make a public comments, and I was forced to sue them for Brown Act violations. But within this election, I noticed that most measures doesn't follow the law, and Art Tinoco claims that he doesn't have resources and authority to compel and enforce the law. But since my last appearance here before the Board of Supervisors, I filed a claim for mistreatment in your detention center, which under your authority. And maybe if you don't provide sufficient money for Art Tinoco office, maybe this claim denied, maybe will be designated to his office. And today the Court of Appeal temporarily...
Okay, thank you, Sergey. And we do recall from the last meeting you were here, and we appreciate your comment, so we'll take that input. Thank you. Okay, next speaker, we have Linda, followed by...
Okay.
Followed by
Muriel Dufresne.
Okay, perfect. Hi, Linda. How you doing?
Board, my name is Linda Greelick, and I am speaking on behalf of Julian Pollitt, who is currently a San Diego police officer who lives in Hemet, and he is also a pursuit driving instructor for police in Southern California. He is not able to be here today, so he asked me to make this statement on his behalf. Riverside County Transportation Department is looking into relocating the Potrero Creek Bridge, eliminating the sharp turn around Gilman Hot Springs Road, instead of repairing the erosion issue underneath the bridge. This is at the cost of over $11 million. To provide you with a little background on myself, I was a deputy sheriff with the Riverside County Sheriff's Department for only 24 years. Prior to that, I was a police officer with the San Jacinto Police Department. I was a traffic collision reconstructionist for the county and a motorcycle officer for over 11 years. Many of those years, I was stationed in San Jacinto. It is my professional opinion that relocating the bridge in a position that would eliminate the sharp turn would only increase the speed along Gilman Hot Springs. Being a motorcycle enforcement officer, the last thing Gilman Hot Springs needs are greater speeds. The location of the bridge and the sharp turn, as it currently stands, does slow traffic down slightly, which is not a bad thing. Relocation of the bridge does not improve safety in any way. In fact, it would only increase the danger to other motorists and pedestrians. Vehicles already travel at a high rate of speed along that corridor. Removing that bend in the roadway will allow vehicles to maintain a high rate of speed. I am aware of the numerous fatalities on Gilman Springs Road, but I am not aware of any at the location of the Potrero Creek Bridge. In conclusion, I suggest repairing the bridge and spending the estimated $11 million on repairing other roadways within the area. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Linda. And what we will do is we'll reach out to TLMA and Ronnie and them, because I was unaware of this. So I appreciate you bringing this for Julian. Okay.
Muriel Dufresne, followed by Amanda Laurie.
Hi, Muriel.
Hi. Good morning, Chair and members of the board. My name is Muriel Dufresne, and I am speaking on behalf of Golden Era Productions. I'm here today to address the proposed Potrero Creek Bridge project. This is a bridge on Gilman Springs Road, which divides the Golden Era campus. It's located between State Street and Sanderson Avenue, or State Route 79. Approximately 20,000 vehicles travel this road each day. The bridge was originally constructed in 1926. The county has identified a scour problem, and according to the 2024 Caltrans bridge inspection, the bridge is classified as structurally sound. The documented concern is foundation scour. We agree the bridge scour problem needs to be addressed. However, the project currently being proposed goes far beyond repairing an existing bridge. The proposal is to demolish the existing two-lane bridge, construct a new bridge at a different location, realign Gilman Springs Road, and create a straighter roadway designed for 50 miles per hour with a proposed posted speed of 45 miles per hour. This is not simply a bridge repair project. It is a permanent change to an important transportation corridor. There are unresolved questions regarding the proposed roadway design, including how a higher speed roadway could affect traffic conditions along Gilman Springs Road and turn it into a worse speedway. The present bridge design acts as a traffic calming measure. If the scour problem is the identified problem, then it should be clear engineering analysis demonstrating why rehabilitation is not a reasonable alternative and why demolition and relocation are necessary. This exact same process was done on a bridge at the same age in Santa Cruz. So I'm simply asking the board to rehabilitate the existing bridge.
Thank you. Thank you. Next speaker.
Amanda Laurie, followed by Michelle Mead.
That's Mario. Good morning.
My name is Amanda Laurie. My family and I reside and work in the San Jacinto Valley. I'm here to formally express my opposition to the bridge as well. My concerns go far beyond simply opposing an expansion or improvement to the roadway. This project has the potential to create lasting impacts on the surrounding community, neighboring properties, traffic patterns, public safety, quality of life, and the character of the area. I lead a local nonprofit and adventure club. We camped on a nearby golf course just down the street from this exact bridge location, and a major rollover accident occurred on the roadway right above us. This bridge is a hairpin turn that slows down traffic and prevents that. If it's redone and completely redone, it's going to create a raceway. The rollover accident was very traumatic. My husband commutes this exact stretch of roadway every single day. As his wife and the mother of his children, I worry about his daily commute. A project of this magnitude should not move forward without a complete and transparent evaluation of both its immediate and long-term consequences. Increased traffic capacity can bring additional vehicle volume, noise, congestion. These effects deserve meaningful consideration. I'm also concerned about whether alternatives have been adequately explored. The community deserves to know why this particular project and design are necessary, what other options were considered, how future traffic projections were determined. I respectfully request that the responsible agencies fully consider public concerns, provide clear answers to outstanding questions, evaluate reasonable alternatives, and carefully examine the cumulative effects of the project before proceeding. For these reasons, I am opposed to the bridge project as currently proposed. We need more answers.
Thank you so much.
Thank
you.
Okay. Michelle Mead, followed by Catherine Fraser.
Hi, Michelle.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, my name is Michelle Mead, and I understand here the goal is to increase the traffic flow between the 79, also known as Lamb Canyon, and the State Street by speeding up that section of Gilman Hot Springs. The problem is there's a lot of, that Gilman Hot Springs is a curvy road with a handful of utility roads and private driveways, and these are a bit hidden because they're not for public use. But for those that need to come in and out of them, it would be very, very much more dangerous with an increase of speed in that area. I also prefer that road. It is a scenic route, so I use this road when I can, and I drive a comfortable speed through there in my Chevy truck. But even at that speed, there are times when there's people that want to go even faster, like the Tesla that was behind me the other night, and I couldn't even see his headlights. He was so right behind me. And I bet it feels like a real life video game when you're in those sports cars. And I understand there's sometimes when people don't prefer the scenic route. And there are times when I don't prefer the scenic route and I need to get from point A to point B quickly. And for those times, I use the Ramona Expressway, which runs parallel to Gilman Hot Springs roads between those two same roads. Ramona Expressway is a straight shot. It's 4 lanes wide, and that most of the commerce is on that end of State Street anyway. And it's the way GPS would send you. The people that choose to use Gilman Hot Springs are not choosing it because it's faster, because it's not. But it doesn't need to be. We have the expressway. The people that are currently using Gilman Hot Springs either need to use that road to get through the private driveways, or they're like me and prefer the scenic route, or they're like that Tesla and want to play a real-life video game. When I was a fighter back in the day, we would see these cars go through there, and there would be accidents sometimes, and they would be horrific. And I never thought to myself, you know, if they only went faster, this wouldn't have happened. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Catherine Fraser, followed by Errol Koshowitz.
And again, you have my commitment to, I'm going to work with TLMA to find out more information about this so we can get back to you. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you. And
Yes.
it's good to see you, Chair.
Yeah, good to see you too.
Yeah. So good morning, Chair. Good morning, Supervisor Washington. I haven't seen you for a while. Okay, my name is Catherine Fraser, and I am the Director of Public Affairs for Golden Era Productions. You've heard the concerns from residents, daily drivers, a traffic collision expert, and representatives of Golden Era. Although they have spoken from different perspectives, their message is consistent. The existing bridge has a scour problem that should be fixed. That does not justify demolishing the bridge and making it straight, traffic faster to an already dangerous and over-congested road. So we should be looking into the larger transportation problems facing this area. The county should not make an isolated decision that could increase speeds and traffic on Gilman Springs Road while that broader regional problem remains unsolved. Our request to the board is direct. Do not approve the demolition, relocation, and realignment now being proposed, because once the existing bridge is demolished and the roadway is realigned, that decision cannot be undone. To fix the problem the bridge actually has. Do not create a new traffic and safety problem that this community will have to live with for generations. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next speakers.
Errol Koshowitz, followed by Paul Petrella.
Errol? Okay. Okay. I think he's coming. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Arrow left, so.
Oh, okay.
So I have to get, if I'm going to have to drive here and spend the time on the road, when I'm going to get my 2 minutes, let's public speak. And I often feel like on the issues that we discuss, which are kind of concentric to the wine country and what we're experiencing out there, it's almost like because we've become such the loudest and most complainers, it seems now like we're treated as the problem. The problem isn't the problems that we're reporting. The problem is the people reporting the problem. And that could well be because there's some reprisal going on because we come out and we poke people in the eye and work for the county and say, you're not doing your job. We don't think you're doing your job. It's not, the problem hasn't been fixed. Whatever you're doing, the problem hasn't been fixed to our satisfaction. And so I think we've engendered a certain retaliation. And I think that that's wrong. We've brought this up to our supervisor staff. We hope to talk to them. We notice they're in the gallery here today. But the bottom line is, it's wrong. If you're a professional working for the county and professional politicians, regardless of how much you might hate somebody for whatever it is they say or do, case in point, the MAGA hat, the Trump shirt, I wear them every time I come here. Sole intent is to see how people react, how inappropriately people react to that. It's wrong. Treat people with respect. Treat your constituents the way you would treat the one you love as much as the one you hate.
Absolutely.
And it's only my assumption that they hate us, but I think y'all do.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
E. Petrella, followed by Tanya Gonzalez.
For the record, I love his Trump stuff. Anyways, I'm just here just to remind you that you guys still need to address the grand jury report code not living up to code. Where's everybody? I will not let you forget the negative impact afflicted on me and many residents due to the unethical behavior from this board and the TMLA department. Now, according to Mr. Medina, all aspects of government must be held accountable. And according to Ms. Spiegel, your job is to ensure county departments operate effectively and in a manner that maintains public confidence. I want to see the same level of action and importance placed as the sheriff's grand jury report. Okay? Thank you so much.
Okay.
Go Trump.
Thank you. Okay, next speakers.
Tanya Gonzalez, followed by Greg Reed.
Okay. And is Greg Reed the last speaker?
No, we also have
Oh, okay, never mind. Okay,
a few more, about four more after that.
Okay, okay.
Want it all covered, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Now that we're excited.
And it'll show all of it, so.
Thank you. Hi there, Tanya. Welcome back.
Hi, good morning.
The focus, just hold that button down.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, Tanya Gonzalez from District 5 in opposition to the Stone Ridge Commerce Center. Like the SpongeBob episode says, like, finally, after all this time, hopefully wrapping up the jobs portion statements that I've been trying to make. So in this report, pretty much the strengths were solid, economic growth in recent years, advanced manufacturing capabilities, and clean energy production potential. The opportunities are increased industry diversification, quality jobs related to the energy transition and Lithium Valley development. But the weaknesses come in as uneven economic growth and insufficient quality job creation, too few quality jobs, particularly for those who did not pursue post-secondary education, and low medium household incomes and higher proportion of residents living in poverty compared to the state as a whole. The threats do come as challenges arising from global supply chain shifts, environmental impact concerns, automation, which should be in caps, and the other structural elements of the economy, continued over-reliance on the logistics industry, which is why I'm in opposition to the project that's being trying to brought in to the town of Nuevo, and insufficient quality job creations. As I had mentioned before, energy will be pretty much a key component to anybody who is able to produce it as much. Right now in Riverside, we have half of what the warehouse area is in San Bernardino County. And so our energy consumption is obviously half in all, as well as emissions that get spread out through the county. But when you look at how much we generate a lot more than the San Bernardino County. So even though they're using more, at the end of the day, we are in a good balance when it comes.
Okay, thank you, Tanya. Okay, next speakers.
Greg Reed, followed by Roy Bleckert.
Good afternoon, Greg.
My name is Greg Reed. I own the property where I have an issue with permits. And the permit issue dates back to 1990.
Oh, wow.
I have been dealing with the Department of Environmental Health trying to resolve this issue. I have dealt with code enforcement. I have dealt with Mr. Washington's office. Brian was with your office. I have this issue that needs to be resolved. There's a well that does not have a permit per section 682 county ordinance that was issued in 1990. All wells that are drilled needed to be permitted. Mine, for some reason, isn't permitted. The electric to it isn't permitted. I called code enforcement on myself. They came out and wrote up a deal on it, and they investigated only to determine that there is no permit to the electric for the well. I'm asking you, Mr. Washington, please step up and help me resolve this issue. I am within your district. I'm out in Sage, and all I'm looking for is help. And it's tough to find. I keep being told, oh, well, Mr. Matt Rehas says the well is issued or permitted under a Weber Valley Heights Water Association. Look it up. There is no such corporation in the state of California. There is no such DBA in the county of Riverside. So this Mickey Mouse company is using a name, and Department of Environmental Health is falling for it. I see I got 29 seconds. So anyway, what would it take for you to help me resolve this? It's been 14 years. I'm not going to stop. I don't want to sue the county, but where do I go? What can you help me with?
Who did you talk to in my office?
I've talked with Brian, and I've called your office a couple different times.
Brian?
It was a number of years ago, yes.
Yeah, I was going to say, because he's been gone about 4 years ago.
Till Dare, something of that nature.
In the last row on your left as you walk up, she's waving at you right now. That's my chief of staff. Talk to her. If you're done, you can go. Yeah, and if there's a pathway from where you are to where you want to be, we'll find it.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, thank you, Greg. Really appreciate you coming. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay, next speaker.
Roy Bleckert, and Roy will be followed by Greg Langworthy, who is online.
And Brad is our last speaker.
We have two speakers following Greg online.
Okay. Hi, Roy.
So we had a little discussion earlier, and I think it went completely, and I know it really didn't, but you're trying to obfuscate. You flat know. 5 years ago, we had, a $5 billion budget. It's now $10 billion in Riverside County. Yet public safety is going down, or we're getting less services. Costs are outstripping our ability to provide health and human services, public safety, roads and bridges, what you should be doing. It's all because of government policy. And I put the numbers out there that are not disputed. And I see Victor left, but he's saying, well, false information, is that what I put in there? Because I asked, prove me wrong, correct it. Nobody has at this point. So who's putting out the misinformation? There may be a grain of truth in what you're saying, but you're giving the public a fairy tale depiction of what's going on because you can. It keeps you in power, keeps your votes, and keeps you in office. What it does, it destroys the fabric of our community. And as you hear the frustration of people coming up here, I think that is the evidence that proves my case 111%. So hopefully you will see the light and start working for all of us to make a better community before we fail.
Okay. Thank you, Roy. And then we have Greg, right?
Yes. Our next speakers are online, Greg Langworthy, followed by Fabian Batista.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
So, watched the hearing at the Supreme Court yesterday. Was encouraged. I thought it was a good discussion. The issue remains to be how many actual ballots were cast in the Proposition 50 election. Sheriff has got the ballots, wanted to count them. The district attorney says, well, you can't until the Supreme Court makes a decision. They won't make a decision, I think, for about 90 days. It becomes a very simple question of if there's 611,000, then there's something wrong with the registrar's count. And he needs to know just as much as we need to know. That count needs to be accurate. I think where we have common ground is that Registrar Tinoco admits that his own paperwork is faulty, especially the paperwork coming for the ballots from the post office. That really needs to be corrected before this next election in order for the audit to be reconciled. I think he's got good paperwork from the vote centers, good paperwork from the drop boxes. He admits the paperwork from the post office is not accurate. That, I think, can be corrected. We think that Blue Crest machine does produce a report. I think that needs to be addressed. But encouraged by just the progress. I think Riverside County is becoming an example for how you can have a civil discussion on issues that you are contending with. And that's where I appreciate Art and the supervisors and law enforcement, Sheriff Bianco, the auditor controller. So I think we just need to work together. The essential issue right now, how many ballots were in the Prop 50 election, and then let's get a good, clean paperwork system for those ballots coming from the post office before.
Okay, thank you. Next speaker.
Fabian Batista, followed by Jennifer Venable, and Jennifer will be our last speaker.
Good morning, members of the board. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you for allowing me to address you today. I'm Dr. Batista. I'm a resident of the city of Riverside, District 1 in High Grove. I serve as a South Coast AQMD employee where Supervisor Perez is a board member. I'm a contributing member to Society Protecting the Public Health, and I'm here today to ask you to stand with me to protect the health and safety of its residents by considering two matters related to short-term residents, or short-term rentals, I believe that there's inadequate code enforcement resources that's putting a burden on permanent residents to enforce and police the operations of these STRs. I have complaints into the code enforcement office under case number CVST 261061, and I invite you to look up the record for more information because many of it is a sensitive ongoing investigation. There's an STR operating in my neighborhood, and it is, again, there's lack of enforcement. I'm wondering how inspections are operating for these STRs. They're deemed hotels, but what is the safety protocols for ensuring that these STRs are operating properly? I believe that agents need to be around on premises around the clock. I would love to contribute to the next round of revisions for this ordinance, or I would love to see the STR ordinances go away. However, I'm not blind to the fact that there's a lot of money coming into Coachella Valley and the rest of the county surrounding these. But the signs on a front porch, with a phone number that is inadequate, and the burden is now on the community. And my role and responsibility is to protect the public health through the employment that I have, and I can't stay up all night monitoring.
Okay. Thank you, Jennifer. Next speaker is Jennifer.
Yes, our last speaker, Jennifer Venable.
Good morning, Honorable Chair and honorable members of the board. My name is Jennifer Venable, and I want to begin by saying that I have a great deal of respect for what county supervisors do. My father, Jim Venable, was a former county supervisor who represented the Hemet-San Jacinto area, quite zest, and I remember him working on this section of Gimlin Springs Road and being instrumental in changing it from a state road to a county road. And I also remember him talking about the Potrero Creek Bridge because he wasn't happy that he inherited such an old bridge and wanted Caltrans to replace it. But after reviewing the bridge, Caltrans informed my dad that the bridge was in good condition and did not need to be replaced. And my father then described it as being like a, excuse my French, brick shithouse. And so I am speaking today on behalf of Golden Era Productions regarding the proposed Gilbin Springs Road bridge replacement over Potrero Creek. But I do want to make one point very clear that we are not opposed to making the bridge safe.
Okay.
The 2024 Caltrans inspection found the bridge deck and superstructure to be in good condition, the substructure to be in fair condition, and the bridge was classified as not structurally deficient. The problem was scour. The county is proposing to demolish the bridge, build a new bridge in a different place, realign Gilman Springs Road, create a straighter roadway designed for higher speeds, all of which raises several important questions that we all are asking. We're just asking, how was this project prioritized? What was the data supporting, replacing, and realigning the bridge instead of just a rehab? Has a true rehab versus replacement analysis been completed using the same hydraulic, seismic, safety, service life, and cost criteria? And have we completed the traffic, environmental, geotechnical, property, and concept?
Okay, thank you. No more speakers, right? No more, right? Okay, great. Okay, we'll now move to board comments. Okay, we have Supervisor Washington and then Supervisor Spiegel. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have a few slides. My team and I had the opportunity to tour the Wellness Village with our Riverside University Health System Behavioral Health team and see the incredible progress firsthand. It's exciting to see these innovative facilities taking shape, and I can't wait to see them open to the public in just a few months. This project reflects so much thought and consideration for the residents who will be served here, from the design of the facilities to the services they will provide. Hats off to RUHS Behavioral Health team for bringing this innovative vision to life and creating a place focused on wellness, healing, and our community, and I can't wait to see more of them throughout the county. Next, let's see. I'm trying to find, my slides are in a different order than yours, but that's okay. I'm flexible. A couple of weeks ago, I was joined by my family. Those are my grandsons. Oh, you changed them. All right, I'll go back. And this is like whack-a-mole. It was an exciting day in French Valley as we celebrated the grand opening of 3. Cut it out.
They moved it again?
Again. What are we going to do? You want to leave it there?
National Night Out.
Let's do National Night Out. Don't change. A couple of weeks ago, I was joined by my family as we visited National Night Out celebrations across the 3rd District. We started in Menifee, continued on to Murrieta, and wrapped up the night in Temecula. It was wonderful to spend time with residents, meet with our dedicated first responders, and see our communities come together in support of public safety and neighborhood partnerships. Those are my grandsons with me. There's a great picture of them wearing SWAT gear. They loved that, of course. And now we'll go back to French Valley grand openings. Yay. Stay there. Stay, boy, stay. It was an exciting day in French Valley as we celebrated the grand opening of the 3 incredible community investments. The French Valley Discovery Hangar, the Early Learning Center, and the Skyview Pedestrian Bridge. These projects represent more than just new buildings and infrastructure. They represent our commitment to creating a community where families can learn, grow, and thrive. French Valley Discovery Hangar will provide an exciting, hands-on experience for children and families, connecting our community to the history and future of aviation while inspiring the next generation of innovators. I don't know how they came up with the aviation theme, but I like it. The Early Learning Center is especially meaningful because it will provide much-needed childcare and early learning opportunities for local families. And the Skyview Pedestrian Bridge is an important investment in safety and connectivity, providing residents with a safer way to travel to the library, Discover Hangar, and Early Learning Center. I'm incredibly proud to have been a part of bringing these projects to the 3rd District. This is what it looks like when we invest in our children, our families, and the future of our growing communities. Special thank you to all of our county partners, which includes Office of Economic Development, First Five, and TLMA, and everyone who helped make this vision a reality. French Valley is growing, and we're making sure it grows stronger for children and families. And then now we're down to the SoCal Open. Yay! It was a pleasure attending the Oak Grove SoCal Chef Open and celebrating talented chefs, culinary professionals, and supporters who came together for a great event. It was wonderful to enjoy some incredible food while supporting a cause that makes a meaningful difference in the lives of children and families in our community. Thank you to Oak Grove and everyone who helped make this event a success. Congratulations to all of the participating chefs.
Nice.
So Kathy's not really that short. The woman next to her is really tall.
And I love that picture on the left. It looks like a professional photo.
It is. It says Oasis Gardens Photography.
Nice.
And we are looking at pictures of Alex's grandchildren. They were that cute. Brought those big smiles to our faces.
Great. Okay.
Hair Care Resource Fair. Yay. It was a pleasure attending the Healthy Crowns event and celebrating the importance of hair care for our children and families. Thank you to DPSS and everyone who helped make this event a success and continues working to ensure our community has access to the resources needed to thrive. Absolutely amazing event. All of those young people, boys and girls, boys getting sharp haircuts, girls getting incredible braids, so they'd be ready, looking good and feeling confident as they started their school year. And then finally, I want to give recognition and a shout out to Michelle's Place, a cancer resource center celebrating 25 years of supporting the community.
Wow.
It was an honor to attend the 25th anniversary celebrating Michelle's Place Cancer Resource Center and recognizing 25 years of compassion, support, and empowerment for individuals and families impacted by cancer. Michelle's Place has made an incredible difference in our community by providing resources, hope, and a caring network for those navigating their cancer journey. Congratulations on 25 years of service, and thank you for the lasting impact you continue to make on the lives of so many. Those are my comments. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Supervisor Washington. Supervisor Spiegel, you have any?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, great.
And I'm planning to be back next week. Those of you who don't know, I had a complete hip replacement, so it's been a short time, actually. It's 3 weeks ago today, and I'm up and around, but driving is not quite on the cards yet. So I do want to share that one thing I did find out is, one, the value of our staff, and I want to thank my entire staff. All the things that Chuck just shared, I I missed out on in my office, but my staff were there for all those events. So I was really learned how appreciative I am of those around us, and I hope everybody takes the time to tell your staff too. And also, all of you who sent text messages and cards and calls and emails, it really makes the day for someone who is not out and around. And it really made my eyes open. So take time if you know if somebody's kind of out for a little bit, just give them a text message of hello, because it really means a lot. And I learned that. I do want to just bring up a couple things real quick, actually moving forward. One is, as you know, today is a pretty hot day, and the rest of the week will be very hot. And I certainly have so much respect for District 4 right now. I know they're significantly warmer than we are out here, but it is a very hot week, and I want everybody to take precautions and please hydrate and do what you can. I know it's difficult with Edison giving, I don't know, the other public utilities, but has critical peak times, and they're always 4 to 9 p.m., so it's when we get off of work, you come home and you feel guilty turning your air conditioner on because it's going to cost you more money. But you need to take care of yourselves and your family. The second thing I want to bring up is that we have come up to the 25th anniversary, the remembrance of 9/11. It's hard to believe it was a quarter century ago that the 9/11, September 11th, 2001 attacks with 100 million Americans that are too young to even remember that day that changed our nation forever. And I'm hoping that as we move forward that we continue to pass this on, because it was a significant and enduring legacy. We commemorate the anniversary. There's many things going on in our district. I'm sure there's in all the districts. But our new generation needs to learn about the unimaginable loss that we experienced and the inspiring stories of bravery and compassion and unity and the service that we witnessed, and more importantly, how we as a country came together. And we had a lot of strength and patriotism, and I'm hoping that this will bring that back and in remembrance of those that did lose their lives during that time. And then on a lighter side, on September 29th, this will be our 15th annual Riverside County Women's Leadership Conference. It's co-hosted by the Corona Chamber of Commerce. And if anybody is interested, please just contact my office or myself, and we will certainly get you in the right direction. It's a wonderful event. One of our key speakers is, if you've heard of the movie Freedom Riders, and that became a movie with Hilary Swank. And so the actual woman who it was written about, Erin Gurrell, will be speaking at the Women's Conference, as well as many other speakers. So it will be a great morning. It only goes from 7 to noon, 12:30. So we've learned over the years, after 15 years of, that seems to be the right niche of time that people can sit through a conference, and if you want to go back to work, you can go back to work or whatever. So please reach out to our office if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Supervisor Spiegel, and we have Supervisor Medina.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to extend my personal get well to Supervisor Spiegel. I was out of the country and was not able to communicate, but just want to let her know that we miss her being here in person. We hope to have her back in person soon. And before my slides go up, I'd like to share one other thought. We've all heard the ancient proverb that the wheels of justice turn slowly, but grind exceedingly fine. Today marks 197 days since Sheriff Chad Bianco served the warrant and seized the over 600,000 ballots from our Riverside County Registrar of Voters. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to watch shortly some of the proceedings at the California State Supreme Court, where the California State Supreme Court heard two different cases regarding the seizure of those ballots. And from what I saw, what I heard, what I've read in the press today, I am encouraged that those ballots will soon be returned to where they need to be, where they should have been all the time, and that is with our Riverside County Registrar of Voters. I heard in the proceedings someone reference folks who are pushing the agenda of wrongdoing as someone who would have breakfast with Elvis Presley. And I happen to be among those who think that any skepticism about the integrity of our voting system is ill-placed. So I'm very happy that the cases were heard. I look forward to hearing the court's decision within 90 days, and I look forward again to the ballots being back in the hands of the Riverside County Registrar of Voters. I think yesterday showed that we remain a country of laws, irregardless of what some of the skeptics and naysayers say, often and sometimes loudly. And again, the wheels of justice turn slowly, but yesterday we saw them turn. So with that, let me get my 2 slides up. On Thursday, July 30th, Congressman Mark Takano and I had the privilege of hosting a Veterans Resource Fair at the American Legion Post 79. It was great to see local veterans and community partners come together to connect with valuable resources available throughout Riverside County. Thank you to everyone who joined us, and most importantly, thank you to all the veterans for their service, sacrifice, and dedication. Please know that I'm always here to support our veteran community. Second slide. On Thursday, August 6th, my office hosted a free spay and neuter clinic for District 1 residents at the Crestmore Manor in Jurupa Valley. Thank you to everyone who came out and continues to do their part to care for their pets in our community. I'm grateful to see our residents take advantage of these important resources. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Supervisor Medina. And before we put my slides up as well, I just want to thank our Environmental Health Director, Freddie, for his 90-day update. So I really appreciate that. And then I also want to request a tour of the Wellness Village. I think that'd be nice to take a tour of that. And then I'm happy to see that the CWA local hire discussion passed, and we'll be coming back to the board with details with Medina and I and the EO's office working with those individuals. And then also some good news for today's items as well. We did pass the WIA dollars from the state that came from federal government, which is over $20 million. And this is for our youth opportunity centers. We have 5 of them throughout the county. And these youth opportunity centers provide hiring opportunities and jobs for our youth, but also mentorship and job skills training. So if you're not aware of where these opportunity centers are located, there is one in San Jacinto Hemet that CFLC runs. That's actually through the county, but CFLC runs it for us. And then we have also one in Moreno Valley, and then the other 3 throughout the county. And then we did add more deputies through Moreno Valley's contract. So we're not cutting officers or deputies or anything like that. And we've made that very, very clear in our previous meetings as well. In fact, we're adding more deputies. And then I also wanted to congratulate our aviation department, Angie. She's the director there, because we received a grant of over $8 million, or we're going to receive it. I don't think we have the money yet, but it's coming. And so this $8 million is to repair or renovate or rehabilitate the Hemet Ryan Airport. And as you know, that needs a lot of work. Since 2024, we've had other grants and other dollars that have actually improved it too. So I just want to thank her for her leadership. And then I also want to just give a shout out to our Auditor Controller's Office for his leadership in putting on a soccer tournament with the county, with various county departments. Ben Benoit through ACO, he's put this on, and our district has decided to participate. So we are called the D5 Crushers. And yeah, and I'm playing in the game, and I went to the practice already, and this Thursday's our first soccer tournament, and I think we're going against RCIT as our first, so we'll see how that goes. All right, if we could put the slides really quick. This will be very quick. Our health clinic was on August 8th and 9th. It was very successful. We provided free dental, vision, and medical care. And now we're working with RUHS as our providers to provide some of those services for our next clinic, which is in December in the Hemet-San Jacinto area. So this was in the Banning area. So every 3 months, we rotate and we take the show to different areas of the county in the district. And we provide free dental cleanings, root canal surgeries. Not me, I don't do that, but our dentists do it. And it's just great. It's all free too for the public, and people just really love it. Okay, next slide. I went to the Sunrise HOA. First ever meet and greet there. It was very nice to see the seniors there. You know, we find more of these HOAs through time, but in the past 3 years, we've gone to over 74 HOAs, and we continue to go to some of them, again, the same ones, and then other ones will add new ones too. But my goal is to go to the senior communities and really speak to them and let them know what the county is doing for them. And that's why we bring the county services to them in the various departments. So I just want to thank also the county departments for going to these as well. I know it's a lot of work. Next slide. And then the Playhouse Bowl, we do this every summer where we provide funding to the Playhouse Bowl Association, and then they provide live music for us. And we had about 600 people at that first event, Eagles Tribute Band, and then every week we have a new band. And this is over at the Banning Amphitheater Center as well. And then for the Hemet-San Jacinto, because we do have Hemet-San Jacinto people here, we do the Summer Bash. Okay, so you guys get the Summer Bash. All right, and then in Marina Valley, we have other events there too. All right, and that's it. Oh, okay. So now board committee reports. So there's no board committee reports. Executive, Mr. CEO? Nothing. Okay, nothing. Okay. We will go now to memorials. Anyone have any memorials? No? Okay. Supervisors? No? Spiegel? No? Okay.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, I do.
Okay. We do.
I couldn't find the hand raised.
Sorry, I didn't see it. Okay.
I have two that I want to include in the adjournment of the meeting, and the first one is Neil Kenton Rose. He actually was the father of my former chief of staff, Debbie Rose. Many of you know who Debbie Rose is. And he was born in 1954, went to Cal State Fullerton, and then in psychology, and then went on to graduate University of Illinois with graduate studies, and worked as an assistant in psychology department. They moved to, trying to cut this down shorter, he had a lifelong love of sports and outdoors. His love of ocean led him to surf, and later obtained this American Sailing Association certification. An avid golfer, was proud of his multiple holes in one, awards and opportunities to play many courses in the United States, Scotland, and Ireland. He loved the national parks and was the happiest enjoying the various seasons in Yosemite. He was a faithful follower of the Rams, Angels, and Bruins. He is survived by his wife, Janet, his daughter, Debbie Rose, as I mentioned, was our former chief of staff, and son, Michael Rose. And he will be missed, and those who knew him knew that he was an avid family man and very much into sports. The next one I'd like to include in memorials is William Fisher. And Bill, he was a very wonderful man, had a great marriage to his high school sweetheart, Kelly. He was a devoted husband and proud father of his sons, Jack and Joseph. He spent most of his life in Southern California, including 8 years in Big Bear. He began his career as a sprinkler fitter, working alongside his father at D&B Fire Protection. And then he went on, after his father passed, to West Coast Fire Protection. And then a career ended following an injury, and he embraced the challenge to go back to college. And he earned his bachelor's degree and master's degree, and determination and perseverance led him to a rewarding second career in education. And this is how I knew Bill, is he was 26 years at the Corona Norco Unified School District as a teacher, the president of the Corona Norco Teachers Association, and later school district administrator. He retired in June of 2025. He was curious and eager to learn, as you can hear about the different rounds of education. He was an avid reader, a researcher, problem solver, and storyteller. And he brought that into the classrooms. He brought that into the relationships with the parents. He was just one of those great teachers that you really get warmed knowing that your children are being touched by this wonderful man. He is survived by his wife, his sons, and 2 loving dogs, and he will be missed by all. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Spiegel, for sharing that. And sorry for those losses of the folks that you know, and Debbie Rose as well. I've known her, so my condolences to her and her family. Okay, so we'll prepare those, and then we don't take a vote on memorials, right?
Yes.
We do? Okay, I thought we did. Okay. Yeah. All right, so I entertain a motion to approve those.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion made by Supervisor Spiegel, second by Supervisor Washington. Call for the vote, please.
Supervisor Medina?
Yes.
Supervisor Spiegel?
Yes.
Supervisor Washington?
Yes.
Supervisor Gutierrez?
Yes.
Thank you. The item passes 4-0 with Supervisor Perez away.
Okay, great. And Mr. County Counsel, do we have any report from closed session?
No anticipated reportable action, Supervisor. However, the board has need to meet in closed session for the items listed at the bottom of the agenda under number 27. So again, no reportable action anticipated today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. So we will now go to recess to lunch. Is 10 minutes good? And then we just take our food up there? Are you good with that? 12:30. 12:30? Sure. Okay, that's fine. Perfect. Okay, we will go upstairs to closed session at 12:30. Thank you. We'll recess.